Office still stands for talk? No.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm just going to go ahead and start using this to go say hello to everybody that's hopping in. Thank you for hopping in. I appreciate you. Let me scroll up to the top here. Thank you for all the support already. Holy shit. And we'll go ahead and get rid of this screen cover and we'll say, what's up to everybody. Thank you all for hopping in. Oh, that damn content warning. I'm telling you, be prepared tonight. It's up there for a reason. We got a doc drop. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for hopping in. I appreciate you. Let's say what's up to everybody tonight. D, ticket number 4, thank you for hopping in. Kelly Miller, ticket number 1, must be your lucky day. That's multiple days in a row there, Kelly Miller. Nina, number 5, with the new icon photo. Number 5 in the house, thank you, ticket number 5. Detective Golden, hope you're feeling better. Cherry, what's up, Jethro Toa with the sunglasses. Oh, shit. I wish I could wear some. It's just not that bright in here. Be getting new lighting here soon and another backdrop for the green screen, so it should be even better than what it is right now. I can wear more hoodies instead of you just seeing a head. Ooh, maybe I should do that for Halloween. Just be a head floating here, right? Good evening. Brandy Wine. Hello. DS, Devil Doll, Kevin Kraft, and the answer to whether I should go live is drumroll. Hi, CJ. Well, what's up, Kevin? How you doing tonight? Debray, what's up? How you doing? Appreciate you. Caddy, ticket number 8. Thank you so much. Your ticket number is your like number, so if you're not familiar with that and you're new to the show, if you know what your like number is, just put it in as your number, and I'll call out your ticket number. Because I'm here to serve you. That's what I'm here for. Kib Kitty, what's up? What's up? Of course, views, articles, opinions, videos, and media in the show. You know, It's about exploring all thoughts, theories, and ideas, but to a certain extent. Respect and truth. Jacqueline, what's up? D. Marie, how you doing? Ticket number 15. There you go. Appreciate you. Yeah, if you remember, go ahead and throw it in. I'll call it out. Call it out. What's up, Mama J? Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Got something on my mind tonight. Mark and Betty. Kimberly Ann, what's up? What's up? Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you all for hanging out earlier today. What a great show. Thank you so much to the community. Man, you guys are so beautiful. I'm blessed and honored because there's a lot of venom out there, and I'm so blessed and honored that my community, we are about that peace, positivity, and progress, you know? We are about the PPP, okay? That's what it's about. All day, every day. And you can even throw a little bit of 150% because that's what you get from this guy right here. 150% all day, every day. And I'm going to explain a little bit as to that 150%. So we'll go into that in a little bit. I need to finish saying what's up to everybody. There's Unravel. Where did I see you? Where did I see you? I saw you. I saw you. There you are. What's up, Unravel? What's up? What's up? I was going to do some Lynn T, what's up? Thank you for hopping in. I was going to do some body cams tonight, and I kind of was like, you know what? We've been doing so good with these fresh notes, old notes. I want to keep this momentum going. We can do the body cams. I think it's more beneficial right now, even though going through body cams is beneficial. Trust me. But after I got done with today's show, I was like, man, there's so much more. I think we need to hit these fresh notes, old notes a little bit more for the next couple days. So we're going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing another show tomorrow. I'll be doing another show tomorrow night. Fresh note, old note. If you got something you want to send, please go ahead and send it to any of these locations right here. Oh no, it took away the comment I was highlighting, so I lost my place. There we go. Thank you so much, Lynn T, for the kind words. Thank you so much, Brandywine. Appreciate that. And here you go as well. Discord, Gmail, or Twitter. Thank you very much. This is my own Evil CJ custom music here, but I'll be turning it down here in a minute. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, D. Marie. You know, I appreciate you. Ever since you came in the show, you've been nothing but positive, and I just want to say thank you. Kimberly Ann, you too. I appreciate you. What's up, Kelly? Thank you for hopping in. What's up, Typically Unique? How you doing tonight? Do it. Ticket number 9. There we go. Ticket number 9. Number 26. Ooh. Sarah Sweetness, what's up? We're doing 3 things at once. Ticket number 27. What's up, Bianca? Thank you for hopping in. Crime Lies. Ticket number 28. PPP. Punch it. Love it. Punch it. Aw. Well, I'm glad, Sarah. Thank you. I'm going to be having a new microphone coming. Just wait until you see this new microphone, everybody. Ooh. Just wait. It doesn't even look anything like this one, but oh, it's going to be beautiful. Just wait. New microphone coming. I got new green screen coming. We got new lighting coming. We got some new updates coming. Once I get the microphone, then I can get this soundboard stuff figured out. But this is going to be on the road microphone after I get my new microphone. Ooh, just wait. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's almost like I need to get the wax out and like wax it, you know? I need to wax the microphone like, oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I can't wait. Oh, it's so beautiful. Yeah, we got some updates coming. What's up, HS? Thank you for hopping in. Aw, that's cool. Yes, yes. It's because of your support. I appreciate it. Seriously. You know, ticket number 80. Thank you, SM. Let me turn this down a little bit now. There we go. That's what I'm saying. It's from your support. Even the support of you watching the video, even if you don't say nothing and you don't leave a comment, all that support allows me to do what I'm doing. It allows me to be here 24/7. It allows me to not only do that and focus every amount of time I have available, and everybody that knows me personally in the background knows how much little time I do use for myself. I mean, seriously, it's about this. And this is the only income. And so that's why I appreciate every single part of it. I'm not one of these people out here that has multiple sources of income but claims to only have one. I'm not one of these people that falsely reports my earnings. I'm not one of these people that does any of that stuff. This literally is me. It's myself. It truly is because of your support. And because of your support, I got such a surprise for you guys coming up here in a week. This weekend. If you've been a part of the show for a while, you know what's coming. What's up, Lisa? If you've been part of the show for a while, you know what trip is coming up. So by the end of the weekend, because of you, because of your support, thank you so much. And this isn't it. Trust me, I got plenty more. You already saw what I did before. Now I got better gear. I got better equipment. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. For you. For you. So excited. So excited. Now, if you know you've been around the show, you've been around the show, you know. But otherwise, I'm just going to keep it just for a little bit. But if you know, you know. You know what I mean? All right. Thank you, everybody, for... no, I won't be heading to Ohio, my friend. Thank you, SM. I appreciate that. And the reason, and this is very important, and this is why I want people leading up to what I'm going to say here for a few minutes, okay? There's a reason that exists, okay? Because there's a reason I give 150. There's a reason I always treat others as I always want to be treated. And there's always a reason that even if somebody stabs me in the back, I still give them 150. Because I know that energy exists. And I know that as long as I continue to put out 150% of positive energy, in the end, you always get what you put out. So there's a reason for that. Because there's been a few months where I've continually been attacked. There's been a few months where certain individuals have said certain things or played certain things a certain way to make me look like a piece of shit. And part of the 150, and this is the hardest part, and this is why I say I'm so fucking proud of it. I wear that shit like a shield. Because through all that and continue, the shit it still continues. Through all that, shout out to my community. Shout out to my mods. Because through these last few months of the ones who truly got treated like a rug, our community, myself, we've continued to be about the peace, positivity, and progress. We've continued to be about respect, truth, and justice. And we continued to always give the 150, even if people talk ill. There's a reason why there's success. Ever since I started this show, I've always talked about a solid foundation. Seriously, anybody that's been around, it's been about diamonds. It's been about diamonds, not sand pebbles. That's why I have the big boot, just like I have the big heart, because I'm about protecting the diamonds. I don't care about sand pebbles. I want a foundation of diamonds, that kind of rock, instead of gravel. I want diamonds in my foundation. That's why I protect it so much. No. This has nothing to do with, I just want to say this right now. When I say this, it has nothing to do with anybody's community. Us as content creators, it's our responsibility. You know, just like when Doc came in the show. Perfect example. Just like when Doc came in the show. It's my responsibility, and it was my responsibility to make sure, even though I got a lot of hate from it, it was my responsibility to make sure that I didn't bullshit you. It was my responsibility to make sure that you guys understood that Dot was a bunch of bullshit. And I know that there was a lot of people that didn't like me doing that, but after time, you all understood. It's up to us content creators. Not about the community. The community can be swayed based on the content creator. Okay? No fault of the community. It's the president. And when the president can't control what the truth is, that's where it starts. Because I have something that has been on my heart tonight. And it feels like it's time to address it. Okay? Now, I'm about the 150. And I'm not about bashing anybody. That's not who we are. That's not our community. I didn't choose to stream for that. I chose to stream for something else. It turned into true crime because of the truth and justice that I have inside my soul and how it truly is about these victims. And if I truly can make just that little bit of difference of bringing justice for the victims and the families. But with that being said, I need to clear some air, people. You know, I always said I have a big family. People will say, CJ, have a look for yourself. You know, after receiving multiple messages regarding the context of how something is coming across to our community, okay, to our community, because we've all experienced it this last week and a half, as I start to have I've been getting a lot of messages, especially last night, this morning, throughout today. You know, there's certain things being said or not being discussed in truth that many people have told me looks like I am continuing to throw venom, or at least letting the venom target Mr. Dago. When he is referring to another creator who is harassing him, not going to name names, this has made people think he is referring to me. Now, I have moved forward ever since that night that took place when he did what he did to me. I've always been about the 150. And I've never said shit, people. That's what 150 is about. I moved forward since that night, and I continued to push my community because I was focusing on why I started the journey on YouTube in the first place. I have no hard feelings toward Mr. Dago. If I had any ill will towards him, there would have been more than what I'm going to show you tonight. Because I've had enough. I do not promote or allow anybody to spew hate on his name inside my chat. I do not allow anybody to discuss anything negatively about Dago or his community in my chat. The screenshots that I've been sent over the last few months while I've sat there and continued to do my show and to focus on the truth, the victims, and the justice, I've had enough. I did not want to share these from the start off the issue that I was hoping that he would someday be the fucking man he claims to be and be honest with everybody that he claims to care about. There's no hate here. It's just facts, baby. And that, you know, that's what I'm about. Now, for those of you who don't know, Mr. Dago was a part of my show. Way more than I was a part of his. Now, when I started getting the support that I got, he didn't make this channel, people. I had 3,500 people that subbed to me before I even met him. When his community, quote, sided with him, I lost 130 subs. If anything, I brought flavor and intelligence to Dago's shows. What you see here on my channel. No hate here, just facts. So, somebody decided to get jealous of the support I was getting, tried to railroad my show. You can see the last episodes of the couple weeks that's up there. You can see it take place for yourself. Because I was going to be coming on the same time slot as him. Now, the Friday before the Monday that I was going to make that transition, all of this took effect. He hijacked my mod security Discord 20 minutes before my show. He basically forced his way on my stream and my panel, and then acted like he didn't know anything that I was standing up for myself, because I would have never done those things to him that he did to me. And after trying to sit there and ask this gentleman to wait until a Saturday when we could have a one-on-one with as many hours as it took, he refused. Now, after that night took place, there was a lot of venom being spewed my way already. I don't put the blame on them because, like I said, it's up to the president. So they'll always have open arms here because I know, just like with the DOT situation, I know how people can be swayed from their president. Now, when that night took place, I released a short video for you all because I said, look, if you all don't believe me, you don't have to believe me. But all you can do is, I'm just going to tell you, all I'm offering is 150. If you don't think I'm offering 150, that's not on me. I showed you guys in a short video how he railroaded my mod Discord to get on my panel. Now, he had a show last night where he's being attacked by somebody. The way that he's been attacking me in the background. So last night, when he's talking to everybody about how he's not being a rug no more. Sir, that was your opportunity to be humble. And that was your opportunity to say, you know what, I fucked over CJ. Maybe I can tell my community in tonight's show the truth about CJ. But instead, he continued to allow his community to spit venom on my name. That, sir, is not humility. So what I'm going to show you tonight is I'm going to show you what took place after my stream. I'm going to show you the harassment that I received, and I'm going to show you the last contact that I ever had with this gentleman, which was the same night he was on my panel. So for all the people that want to sit there and say, CJ's involved, would you please stop? Because it's ridiculous. And sir, it's up to you to be honest with your community. And the other people that you have in your show, super chatting people's information, super chatting, talking shit about people that support this show. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have Jinko pants, but my back pockets are full as fuck. This is the last time I hope that this show needs to entertain anything like this, sir. I'm done. So I'm going to show you guys what took place directly after the show that night. And then we're moving on. Because, like I said, I'm done with this shit. 9 messages or pictures. 8:10 p.m. Because I didn't want to let him on panel still. I guess I'll talk to you another time. After the show, 2 days ago. I can't check during the show, which is what I've always told you. You're doing your own thing. It's no worries. You and the fam be safe with the storms. We heard about the tornado warnings. Still, giving the dude $150. What do you mean I'm doing my own thing? I've always done my show and still did stuff with you, so I ask if you're upset with me and you say I'm going my own thing. What is that? Wow, okay, bro. My misunderstanding, I thought we were friends, and this was after I already asked him multiple times to wait until Saturday to have a conversation. Shaking my head once again from you-know-who, me. Late night of lives. Discord comes to me ASAP, which I already said in my show that night, and he knew that. Was too late when I was done, just woke up a few ago. Can chat later on after show or tomorrow sometime. Too much to text because I wanted to have a man-to-man conversation with the gentleman. I didn't want there to be any confusion to what either one of us had to say, and you all know text message creates the most confusion. No, it's cool. I get it, I guess. To each their own. I'm just not that guy. Sorry, bud. I'll learn one day. Do your thing, bud. So you're not live now. You got this for time? It just keeps going, people. If you're going to continue to live stream lies about me, my attorney will contact you. I've let this go, but I will contact him in the AM. When did I ever say anything bad about Dago? I just confronted him about what he was doing to my show. When did I ever say anything bad? When did I lie? If you, I didn't even message him. Hadn't messaged him since the day before. If you threaten me, never messaged him. If you threaten me one more time, you will be contacted as well. I haven't said one negative thing about you. And I won't do stop your bullshit. You did this, not me. You made me a mod last week. I modded you last month. Stop telling lies, CJ. I'm telling you, my attorney will be contacting you. I'm no joke. You don't know me like that. Don't push me. You need to grow up, kid. No one is believing you fake ass bullshit lies. You should stop before your legal issues. I don't want to be that guy, but I will defend myself legally, especially since you're being dishonest. Read the definition of gaslighting, by the way. Maybe you should, sir. Okay, I warned you and gave you the option to stop. Now my attorney is involved. I'm sorry. You have given me no choice. I don't play these childish games. You were never a friend of me, or you would have never said that. You think that any of that? Have I ever said anything, people? Did I? Because none of what you said has been true yet, at least about me. You say nothing but lies. And my response, and my last response to this person was, if you contact me or anyone I know further in any form, my attorney will be contacting yours. The last message I ever wrote, the last contact I ever had with this individual was the same night that he did that to my show and then harassed me after my show while he harassed me before my show. And I've continued to give $150 and be about the peace, positivity, and progress, people. Now, do you understand when I say I'm about the $150? Sir, You need to fix what the fuck you made a mess of. And I'm telling you right now, exclamation point, I don't have Jinko pants, but I got pockets and they're full of shit. You don't want to fuck with me. Fix your shit. Because I'm tired of your shit coming in my fucking show. I'm tired of you playing it off to your community that I'm the one that's doing all these things so you can get the ching ching. Go back to your shows after you left my show and see how much you were doing for the ching ching, bro. I hope you earned it. Because it was at my fucking expense. And I still gave you $150, sir. So let every fucking person out there that is a friend of mine, that's my loyalty, people. That's my loyalty. Even when you do something like that to me, I'm still giving you $150. I hope you all understand what the $150 is, and I hope you all believe in that shit because it's real. I thank you so much for being a part of this community. Thank you for taking 42 minutes out of your evening to hear some shit that I hope we never even have to talk about again. Because I was hoping after 3 months, I would have never had to talk about it. But unfortunately, last night, it was done. I had enough. End of story. Done. So all those people can stop saying my fucking name. Quit coming into my show being disrespectful to my community because your own president can't be honest with you. Quit leaving dumb comments on my videos, my emails, because your president can't be honest with you. At least when you come to the Evil CJ show, you will have honesty, truth, respect, and $150. Always. Now we're going to get to the fucking topic of the night. Thank you so much. I needed to get that. I'm done with it. Now we're going to have a great fucking night. Thank you all. I appreciate you. Now it's time to laugh. Unfortunately, though, we got some breaking news real quick, and it's not necessarily good. So let's get ready for that. Thank you all. I appreciate you. I'm sorry if I missed anybody coming in. You know me. I got to say shit from the heart. This is done. Fix your shit, bro. Let's get to breaking news. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the community, my mods, and all you people, because you know what? Your $150 made a hell of a difference, too. And you guys mean the fucking world to me. Thank you so much. All right, breaking news. Especially the community.
The Texas
Thank
woman
you.
charged with murdering a rising star.
Because it was just as much hard work for you as it was for me, okay? Thank you. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for your company. For real. Because that's why I call you diamonds. You know the 150. That's why I call you diamonds.
Or in the professional cycling world, that trial is set to start today. Caitlin Armstrong is accused of killing Anna Mariah Wilson, who also went by Mo, in Austin, Texas back in 2022. Investigators say Wilson was in town for a race and hung out with a man that Armstrong once dated. After being questioned by police, Armstrong was on the run for 43 days. International. And just 2 weeks ago, this video shows her allegedly trying to escape while at a doctor's appointment. She's trying to jump the fence, but while she's still in her jail uniform. Stephanie Haynes joins us live with all the twists and turns in really what has been a sensational case to follow. Stephanie?
Yeah, exactly. You know, jail records show that Armstrong has been charged with a felony for that alleged escape attempt. And as you said, this is not the first time she's been suspected of trying to run. Shortly after the alleged crime happened back in 2022, she was gone for 43 days, found in Costa Rica. She was brought back to Texas and has been here ever since. And now her future is in the hands of a jury that will get picked very soon. Caitlin Armstrong is standing trial for first-degree murder in the death of professional cyclist Anna Mariah Mo Wilson. Back in May 2022, Wilson was discovered shot and killed at a home in Austin, Texas. She was reportedly in town for a race. Investigators say she spent time hanging out and swimming with Colin Strickland, also a pro cyclist and someone she used to date. Police say Strickland lied to Armstrong, his current girlfriend at the time, about where he was. Both Strickland and Wilson's family deny that the two were romantically involved at the time. The first major clue investigators say was surveillance video showing Armstrong's car in the area at the time of Wilson's death.
They have enough evidence to begin with that she was there, probable cause that she's the one and only suspect. Her side, her defense could also say, how come they never considered any other subjects like the man? You know, he was never considered. He was questioned and let go immediately. All the heat fell on her.
Armstrong went in for questioning and then apparently took off. Investigators say she sold her car and booked a flight to New York with her sister's name and passport. For 43 days, she was nowhere to be found until finally investigators tracked her down to a hostel in Costa Rica, where she had dyed her hair and gotten plastic surgery. She was brought back to Texas and has been in jail ever since.
It's going to have an inmate uniform, black and white standard.
2 weeks before trial, she allegedly tried to break free. Video showing her running and trying to hop a fence. In her black and white jail uniform.
On the prosecution side, and they have a strong case, the prosecutor is going to say that flight is evidence of consciousness of guilt.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't realize it was muted now. No, I was saying whatever happens over on that show is over on that show. You know what I'm saying? It's just I'm tired. Listen, when you're getting attacked and you're crying to your community that you're tired of being a fucking rug, that's when your humility should set in, and that's when you should be honest with your community about me. You know what I'm saying? And when you're not you obviously ain't. I'm sorry, it was a lot of arrogant, egotistical shit. You know, there's plenty of shit that I can do because I can, but I'm not about that shit. I'm about the 150, and I don't even sit there and promote that I can do anything. Look at the fucking soul of people. You know what I'm saying? That's all you need to know.
Okay, so we reached out to Armstrong's attorneys and did not hear back. We also sent a message to the Mo Wilson Foundation that's run by Wilson's family, and they have a message on their website that says, we are very occupied.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this case either. That's why I kind of put it on the breaking news, even though it's just the trial that's going to start soon. And I'm wondering, like, I know that wasn't, correct me if I'm wrong. Swamp side. Correct me if I'm wrong. Does this lady not, wasn't her like husband dating, was her husband dating somebody outside of the marriage where they separated? I know it had something to do with her husband was a cyclist and some other lady was a cyclist, but I'm not sure. I don't want to speak for what I don't know. Yeah, she had like plastic, yeah, right, Lynn? Had like plastic surgery, changed how she looked and all that other stuff. I I don't know too much. I just know the trial's coming, so I was like, you know what? Maybe we'll start covering this coming up here soon, since the trial's going to be starting.
With this trial in Texas, and
We just got a
we're not gonna
couple of
respond
breaking
to
news, and then
messages
we're
until
going
this
to
is
the.
all over,
I got some
and
good
we've had
stuff for you
time
tonight for the
to
fresh
Yeah,
fresh
it was
notes,
also
old
interesting,
notes.
Stephanie, talking to Jennifer Koffendorfer this morning, she expects that we'll hear Colin Strickland testify in this trial, and that would really be the first time we've heard from him. So things could get even more interesting than they already are. Stephanie Haynes live from Texas this morning. Thanks so much.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
Yeah, I bet.
The recent mass shooting in Maine has reignited.
Who's going to play that later? Hold on.
The Hillsborough County Sheriff went door knocking today, checking on sex offenders in his jurisdiction ahead of Halloween. As 8 on Your Side's Trevor Sohaki reports, the sheriff wants parents to keep a few tips in mind for tomorrow night.
The sheriff said there are 1,435 registered sex offenders in unincorporated Hillsborough County, and his people are going down the list. But he added he needs the public's help to keep themselves safe, too.
Hi, I'm Chad Cronister with the Sheriff's Office.
Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Cronister reminded.
And I put this on the breaking news because I want to say shout out to these people, because when we covered some of these other cases, this shit wasn't even happening. Shout out to this community, Hillsborough County in Florida, for going door to frickin' door before Halloween, checking up on these sick-ass
registered
motherfuckers.
Sex offenders and predators in the area today. Don't advertise for Halloween.
The lights to be shut off to the house.
Boom.
Nothing that would entice a child to come to the house. No handing out candy, no costumes.
That's right.
If an offender on probation breaks these rules, it's an automatic violation and can lead to an arrest.
As you could imagine, tomorrow will be a busy night for us. It'll be all hands on deck. We'll have an increase.
Shout out to Sheriff Chad Cronister in the Hillsborough County in Florida. I'm so fucking happy to see somebody doing some shit like this. Shout out to them.
Presence.
Sheriff Cronister said his detectives have been doing compliance checks for the last month in unincorporated Hillsborough
Shout
County.
out, Gemini. For real. For real.
Mr. Lasso, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. So we all know that universal sign is when the light's off. It means to my residents, it means I'm not participating in Halloween. That means parents shouldn't allow their children to go to that house.
The sheriff said compliance this year is better than last year.
So the 6 that weren't in compliance,
The presents, too. The presents
that we've conducted over the past 30 days, 3 have been placed under arrest, and we've issued warrants on 3.
Last year, the sheriff's office issued 9 arrest warrants. It's usually when a sex offender isn't living where they are registered.
Nice.
Make sure you know where these registered sex offenders and predators live. Educate yourself to make sure that your children are being safeguarded. We have that additional layer of safety and security for our children.
And if you'd like to know where sex offenders or predators are living near your neighborhood, you can visit the Florida Department of Law Enforcement's database. You can find that link in our article online at WFLA.com.
Hell yeah. That is so awesome. That is so awesome. Shout out Hillsborough County. Damn. Making your presence known, not only right before Halloween, busting people that ain't freaking where they're saying they're living. Damn, Demon. Like, that is so awesome that there's some of you that live in this community that have Ellie like this. Seriously, shout out. Like, I can't say enough good things. As much as I do talk my shit, and you know all I talk my shit, but for real, I gotta applause when I come across some stuff. That's why it's on breaking news. Thank you, Hillsborough.
In Hillsborough County, Trevor Sohaki, 8 on Your Side.
Might have saved a child's life.
New at 6. By the time I'm done talking, 23 seconds will have elapsed. It may,
this is our future. This is our future.
Not seem long now, but when a life is on the line, 23 seconds can seem like eternity. That's the average wait time for people calling 911 in Virginia Beach, and some callers wait even longer than that. Tonight, our investigation found both unfortunate timing and a staffing crisis could be to blame. When Bethany White called 911, she had certain expectations.
That someone's going to answer and that help is on the way.
White needed help at her family's Independence Day party. When her 12-year-old nephew disappeared, they searched everywhere, including the backyard pool.
I heard a scream, and then there he
Oh,
was with the
no.
water. I knew I needed to call 911.
White's husband started CPR. She and 3 others called 911 and waited as it rang and rang and rang.
Oh, no.
40 to 50 seconds that I was on hold for.
No.
That must have felt like forever.
It felt like eternity.
City records show White spent 37 seconds on hold. The others waited 33 seconds, 138 seconds, and eventually 5 seconds. First responders arrived in minutes, but 12-year-old Jordan Carr left in an ambulance without a heartbeat.
I don't know if someone getting here would have saved his life. I'm not sure. But I do know that something has to change so that 911 can answer their calls the first time for people that need them.
It's an expectation not lost on the director of Virginia Beach Emergency Communications and Citizen Services, Jada Lee.
And that's why your vote makes such a difference, people, because your vote makes a difference on how the funding goes, because you know it trickles down. That's why your vote is so important, because if we don't have the proper people in place, then the funding doesn't go to where it needs to, and these situations happen. Guaranteed, it's a funding fucking problem. It's so important.
Their expectation is that when they dial those 3 numbers, they're going to get a live person the very first time. But unfortunately, that's not the case every time.
There is an industry-wide goal to try and answer 90% of 911 calls within the first 15 seconds. But callers to Virginia Beach 911 typically wait longer than that.
It looks like the wait time average in Virginia Beach last year was 24 seconds.
That's correct. And right now we're at 23 seconds.
Is that acceptable in your view?
It is not acceptable in my view. We're in a staffing crisis, and we have been since about 2014.
Lee blames a combination of bad timing and short staffing for the 911 wait times. On the afternoon of Jordan's drowning, there was also an influx of 28 other calls during the same 15-minute time frame, and only 8 people to man the phones.
We apologize for any caller that doesn't reach a call taker when they first call 911. They do their very best.
Lee has about 22 vacancies right now, and those vacancies can lead to long wait times when seconds count.
Something needs to change, and I would be more than happy to help with that change if I can, so other families don't have to experience what we experienced.
This 13 News Now investigation is far from over. A Virginia Beach teenager says when he called 911, he was hung up on. Once we started asking questions, the city revisited the call. What they found about procedures tomorrow night on 13 News Now.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear that. Somebody frickin' hung up? Wow. It happens all over the place. It happened back in Akron and Cleveland a couple times. Serious calls were coming in, and they just got an attitude and hung up on people. It's not good.
Now at 6.
Chris, thank you. New video tonight from the Greenville County Sheriff's Office following a deadly shooting involving law enforcement last month.
Carlos Flores has been following this. He joins us live now.
We'll be
Carlos,
getting to the
what did you
topic
learn?
here in about 10 minutes.
Well, Nigel, Carol, last month, deputies were responding to a call about a man holding 2 guns in the parking lot of the Trophy Club here behind me. We now have a clearer picture of what happened when deputies arrived.
Greenville County 911, what's the location of the emergency?
Greenville County dispatchers got the call around 12:40 a.m.
We got a drunk guy here. He's got 2 guns in his hand.
Club security tells dispatchers that the suspect, later identified to be 57-year-old Matthew Healy, was holding 2 guns in the parking lot.
He popped a shot off earlier. That's how we ended up guns on him. So we surrounded him and we're trying to pop something cool.
You got me 1081, 450 Airport Road, 450 Airport Road at the Trophy Club. The 1073 male subject with 2 guns in his hand.
Video from the sheriff's office shows dash and body cam video of the moments officers arrived on scene. Deputies say Healy was sitting in the driver's seat of a truck he had broken into. They added Healy then pointed both guns in his hand at law enforcement. It is not clear if Healy fired a shot at law enforcement, but we know a Greenville County deputy and Greenville County police officer did fire at Healy.
Oh my gosh, Holly.
Hey, I fired twice on him.
And when law enforcement officers deemed the suspect no longer posed a threat, officers moved in to secure the suspect by placing him in handcuffs and provided first aid.
Healy later died at the hospital. The Greenville County coroner says the cause of death was a gunshot wound to the head. Deputies say Healy had 2 guns with him, and they found 3 more in his car. No law enforcement officers were hurt.
Oh, wow.
Now, Sheriff Hobart Lewis says the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division and a 13th Circuit Court solicitor will determine whether the deputy's actions were under the scope of the law. Now, Greenville County Police also responded that night. They have not released any further information at this time. But for now, live in Greenville, Carlos Flores of EYFF News 4.
The family of a Kaufman County woman killed in this weekend's flood says something needs to change.
That was in South Carolina. Greenville, I think. Greenville, South Carolina. This one's in Texas.
They say the low-lying stretch of road where she was driving had no guardrail and no warning signs. Even after she was swept away, as Andrea Lucia reports, she didn't realize how much danger she was in.
Diagnosed with terminal cancer, Jamie Collins has been preparing for her own death. She never expected she'd be burying her daughter first.
Everybody's worried about me, but losing angels.
23-year-old Angel McKnight was one of 2 drivers who died early Saturday morning after being swept off FM 1390 in Kaufman County by floodwaters.
She just said she was stuck in a ditch. And she just needed a tow truck to pull her out.
What?
And I told her, hang up and call 911.
Angel's family said she seemed unaware there was a culvert running underneath the road.
A what?
How dangerous that area could be. Her family believes she was sucked under the road by the flowing water. By the time they arrived, they could only watch as emergency crews recovered her car and her body.
There ain't no lights, there's nothing, no guardrails, no nothing. It's pitch dark.
Collins believed warning drivers of low-lying areas or adding a barrier to keep them on the road could save lives. A spokesperson for the Texas Department of Transportation says it routinely reviews deaths on state roads like this one, looking for ways to increase safety. It wouldn't comment on Angel's death, though, saying it is still investigating.
Something can be prevented. Something needs to happen so nobody else loses their mother, father, kid, brother, sister.
In Kaufman County, Andrea Lucia, CBS News, Texas.
Whoa.
Well, 1 year has now passed since a 25-year-old Charlotte woman mysteriously died in Cabo.
Second to last video, and then we're going to the topic,
last
everybody.
October when she died.
Mexican authorities are investigating her death as a homicide after a video showed one of those friends brutally beating her during the trip. Officials filed an arrest warrant, but a year later, no one has been arrested here.
WCNC Charlotte's Jesse Pierre is joining us tonight to talk about what the family's legal team has to say. What's next in this case?
Well, the attorney for the family, Sue Ann Robinson, says they are working through several diplomatic channels to get the U.S. government to honor the arrest warrant and extradition request filed in Mexico. She says the case could have already been further along if it was taken seriously by U.S. officials from the beginning.
The way that the case is not being prioritized, the way that the family has had to carve their own path to justice in this case from the very beginning has been a huge red flag.
It's been a year since the unexpected death of Shanquella Robinson. The 25-year-old Charlotte woman was on a trip with friends in Cabo back in October of 2022 when she ended up with a broken neck and severed spine, according to an autopsy report done in Mexico. After Shanquella died, a video went viral online showing one of those friends brutally beating her during the trip. Following an investigation, officials in Mexico issued an arrest warrant and requested the extradition of one American for her death. A year later, no arrests have been made. made. The family's attorney, Sue Ann Robinson, says Mexican authorities tell them this case is a priority.
They're using their diplomatic channels to push for extradition because in their minds, essentially a dangerous killer is on the loose in the United States.
U.S. officials opened an investigation as well, but did not find enough evidence to move forward. The results of an autopsy done in Mecklenburg County in November of 2022 came back inconclusive. The FBI Charlotte Division says the case does remain open, and in a statement says, quote, as previously shared in April 2023, the available evidence does not support a federal prosecution. As in any case, we are prepared to review and examine new information related to the investigation should it become available. The U.S. Department of Justice sent a similar message and had no further comments on the case. Criminology Associate Professor Dr. Sharice T.M. Costin says it does not mean an extradition is out of the question, but federal prosecutors would need to support it.
It's very serious action because what you're doing is you're giving up a U.S. citizen to another country based upon what they say has occurred. One thing that's probably throwing.
Well, yeah, the Mexican officials are downplaying this, and they already showed that they're not. They already showed like that they just labeled it having to do with alcohol, and they let the friends go. Like they already showed that they just wanted it over and done with, so that it didn't affect their tourism.
A wrench in this whole thing is that the United States did an autopsy. I guess it was undetermined.
Meanwhile, Attorney Robinson says they will continue to fight for justice for Shanquella.
So that's a very political process. It can take time, and it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Now, I also reached out to the State Attorney General's Office of Baja California Sur for any updates on the case. A spokesperson said they had no new info to disclose. Now, we have covered this story intensely. For a full timeline of events and breakdown of this investigation, please head to WCNC.com.
All right, Jesse, thanks
One
for
more.
keeping us up to date there.
One more.
Come on, girls. Mom, go pro us. Go pro us. Where you gonna pop?
Alarming new details just released about the mysterious death of an LA model who was found dead inside her apartment last month. Authorities say 31-year-old Melissa Mooney was found beaten and bound before being stuffed into her own refrigerator. The grisly details were just released in an autopsy report completed by the Los Angeles County Department of Medical Examiner. Officials say the late model moved into her apartment building in August, but was last seen alive on September 6th on surveillance video in her apartment elevator. Investigators say a man was seen the next day on surveillance cameras using Melissa's key fob to enter the elevator, carrying plastic bags into her apartment. Melissa was reportedly supposed to go to her old apartment that weekend to pick up the rest of her belongings. However, she never made it there. Investigators say Melissa's sister and her mother requested a welfare check. Once officers arrived to the model's apartment, they initially were not able to locate Melissa. However, after police say they observed food that is usually kept in the refrigerator on the kitchen counters, once they opened the refrigerator, that's when they made the gruesome discovery. Melissa found lifeless in a pool of blood wedged inside the refrigerator. According to the autopsy report, Melissa was found with her wrists tied together, wrapped around with white phone charging cords, white shoelaces, and a black tank top. Wrapped around her neck was a gray dress, 3 rags, a gold piece of clothing, and a pink vest. As the medical examiner notes, part of the pink vest was stuffed into Melissa's mouth. The report goes on to state there were abrasions and a large bump on Melissa's forehead. She had abrasions on her shoulder and arm, bruises on her hips and knees, and ligature marks around both her wrists and ankles. The report adds there were no defensive wounds on Melissa's hands. Her toxicology results show recent cocaine and alcohol use, but the autopsy report states it's uncertain the role that alcohol and drugs may have played in her death. The medical examiner noted the autopsy revealed blunt force trauma injuries to Melissa's face, head, back, and upper left arm. Adding, while the blunt force traumatic injuries are not considered acutely life-threatening on their own, based on how she was found, the injury suggests Melissa was likely involved in a violent altercation prior to her death. The report states Melissa's death was likely the result of the actions of another individual. And without findings to explain a clear mechanism of death or knowledge of the sequence of events leading to Melissa's death, the cause of death is deemed homicidal violence, and the manner of death is homicide. Melissa is the sister of Guyanese pop singer Jordan Pauline. Jordan told local news outlets Melissa was 2 months pregnant and excited to have a child. The pop singer also shared a GoFundMe page organized by a close family friend. The organizer wrote, "Melissa was an extremely sweet and generous soul." The page also states they started a GoFundMe to help with legal fees as the family fights for justice, and a portion of the proceeds will go towards starting a foundation in Melissa's memory. Jordan also took to her Instagram after Melissa's body was found in September to share about the devastating loss. In her post, Jordan describes the shock of her older sister being gone. In a tribute to her sister, Melissa's sister also wrote, "The people you touched and loved will carry on for you and keep your name alive in the most beautiful and loving light. You did not deserve this at all." Authorities have not yet named or even arrested a suspect in connection to Melissa's death. However, anyone with information is urged to contact LAPD detectives. Reporting.
That's so sad. Man. Well, because we're not able to cover a lot of these other cases, that's why I take a little bit at the beginning of each show now to cover a little bit of breaking news that's going out there. And so that way, even if we don't have the time to be able to cover some of these other cases, I still want to highlight some things as we get to the show. So thank you all for hanging out in this extended intro that we had this evening. I appreciate you, but it needed to be said. So this is a goodie that I have for you all next on the Fresh Notes, Old Notes episode. And I think you're going to really like this one. This is Court TV. And this is when Kaylee's dad, this is June 9th, 2023. Since the topic of conversation this morning involved jealousy, when it came to the crime, since the topic of the conversation involved a lot of me explaining how jealousy was involved, the incel theory, where that came from, all of these different things that I was talking about. So I thought, how fitting we watched the Court TV episode where Steve G discusses that he believes Kohberger was motivated by jealousy. But I'm just going to go ahead and keep that a blank, because I think what he's really saying is the person that committed this crime was motivated by jealousy, just like I was saying earlier. Thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate you so much. If there's anything you want me to stop and rewind, please let me know, because we do this together. Enjoy. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Kaylee, Madison, Ethan, and Xana shocked the University of Idaho community. It stunned the nation, but its biggest impact was on the families of the victims. Lives which have been shattered, hearts that have been broken. It is way beyond tragic. Tonight, in a Court TV exclusive, Chanley Painter rides along with Kaylee's father as he pays tribute to his daughter on her birthday.
You go from, okay, they just told us that our babies, 2 of our babies are gone. At that moment, you feel so lost that you're like, okay, I have a million questions, but there's nobody to call. There's no pamphlet to read.
Then Chanley speaks in depth about the immense impact all of this has had on the family and how they are dealing with it.
You know, you replace the negative with the positive, and I've got lots of positives. I've gotten 2 grandbabies since this whole thing went down, and we're focusing on those girls, and you know, we've got work to do in the future, but just one day at a time.
Tonight, we are live from Moscow, Idaho, as the families prepare for tomorrow's court hearing in the Idaho students' murder case.
I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments.
This hour is going to be important. It's going to be important. We cover murder trials a lot here at Court TV, a lot. And sometimes what gets lost in everything that happens is what's really happening. The loss. And in the case of what happened in Idaho, I mean, it's unspeakable. It's really unspeakable on many different levels. But to me, it always comes back to these young people, this group of young people. I look at them, it's like you're looking at the cast of Friends or something, right? That, you know, they're doing things together, they're young, they're full of energy, they're full of life, and they're ready. They're getting ready to make their mark. And college is supposed to be that time when you start to figure things out, start to think about the future, and start to plan everything that's out in front of you. It's an amazing time. It's an amazing time. And you know, I remember, you know, you think like, where am I going to end up? Where am I going to live? What am I going to do? What's this journey going to be like? And that's the exciting part. And then when you take that journey, it's amazing. And they never got to do that. Never got to do that. The impact of this is unspeakable as well, especially to the families. You know, I'm a parent too. And you know, you send your children, if you're able to, you send them off to college, and you know, you're always worried, right? You're always worried a little bit, but you're excited too. And the best part is they go to school, and every time they come back, they're a little bit different. They're a little bit more, you know, they're growing up, they're experiencing things, and it's exciting. It's exciting. Yeah, it's sad a little bit because they're getting big and they're growing, but it's so exciting because you know how excited they are. And that loss now, that loss that these families have suffered is forever, is forever. The loss is forever. And you have to figure out how to move on, how to continue. But you can never get away from it because you'll never forget your child. You'll never forget your brother. You'll never forget your sister. Never. Shanley Painter, she's out in Idaho and doing really important work for us in speaking with the families. You know, she's been reporting on the evidence, the crime scene, the facts, the motions, the legal stuff. All of that is so significant. But what she's doing today and what you'll see tonight, to me, brings us to why it's important to shine a light on all these cases that we can. So people can really understand that when you watch a trial on Court TV, or you go down to a courthouse, or if you're a juror sitting in that box, what has happened and what it really, really means. And you're going to see that tonight because she was able to spend a lot of time with Kaylee's dad. And we've seen him a lot. You know, he's been very much out there. But this is going to be different. This is different tonight. This is in a different setting. It's much more revealing, much more real. And I'm so glad that he allowed us to see that. And I want to bring in, joining us live tonight from Idaho, Court TV legal correspondent, Shanley Painter. Shanley, great to see you tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing everything that you did today. And I know the folks at home are as well. And today of all days, right? It's Kaylee's birthday.
Yeah, Vinny, what an honor it was for me covering this story for months from the beginning. You know, we were on the ground to spend what would have been Kaylee's 22nd birthday with her father, her advocate, her warrior, who's been out on the front lines from day one, seeking answers and justice, not only for Kaylee, his daughter, but for Maddie, for Ethan, for Xana, for the community. And that's what today was about, honoring Kaylee's life. Someone, he said, would have loved to have been the center of attention. She was the middle child. She thrived on being the center of attention. And they wanted to honor her today by a pay it forward campaign called Kaylee Jade Day for her birthday. And he allowed us to go along with him, like you said, as he talked about who she was, what she would have been doing on her birthday, probably on a nearby lake with Maddie, celebrating her birthday. She just bought herself a new vehicle. But he told me about, of course, his favorite memories of her birthday and what he misses about her the most. Let's watch.
Kaylee, I remember her tearing up a cake and just making a big mess, getting it in her hair. So she was just so excited about
What's up, Taylor?
when everyone was focused around her, and she was the center of attention, and everybody was giving her gifts, and she always had her friends.
Yeah, that's why, Danny, that's why, I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff on there, but I have a hard time. I have a hard time really trusting 4chan with as much, I try and stay respectful, how I am. Sometimes it can just, it can be downright, and you don't even know if it's true, it's a lot of speculation.
Friends over from school.
A lot.
I have a lot of memories of when she was young and she had that crazy hairdo.
What do you miss most about her?
I missed her smile, and that she was so giving. She really wanted to be like, every morning wake up and be like, I'm gonna go get breakfast, what do you guys want? I'm gonna get coffee, what do you guys want? We're a big family, so it was nice to have somebody that was always thinking about going and doing something and then helping other people along the way. So I'll always miss that, and I'll miss that smile and the hug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he said the goal of today, and really of all of the families now and really to the future, is to make sure, do everything they can to ensure that it's the victims' names that people remember. When years from now, decades from now, they don't think of the man's name who is alleged to have murdered them, but they remember Kaylee, Xana, Ethan, and Maddie's name as the positive force and impact they had on this community and their loss had on this community, Vinny.
Yeah, I've chosen not to say the name. I do that in a lot of these stories, mass murders. And, sometimes you cover a trial, the name's going to be there. There's going to be a trial. You're going to hear it a ton of times. But I think in this case, you're going to hear those 4 names. And you're going to remember those 4 names because that's what everyone's talking about. And that's good. So let's talk about the place where you were many, many times reporting on this case, which was the crime scene, the house where they lived, which turned, I think of the house, I think of it 2 ways. I think of it one way, like here's where they all lived together and they had some good times and, they're starting to learn to be adults. They're having parties, friends are over. And, this is it, the big last hurrah for some of them as seniors. But then it's turned into this horrific crime scene. So what do the families want done with this property at this point?
Well, they would like it to be preserved, Vinny, and we've reported that the university now owns that property. They have plans to demolish the home this summer. I checked back in with the spokesperson of the University of Idaho today. She confirmed that to me. I asked for a specific date. She says they don't have a specific date just yet for when it is to be demolished, but she said they are working through the process. And this is what Steve told me about why they don't want anything to happen to the home.
We communicated with some other families. There's 3 families that are
3 out of 4
concerned with that. We're trying to make sure that
that's why we were pushing so hard back in the beginning of the year. Contact, email, phone calls, the state representative, the state senator, the president of the university,
let these people know that the families, and we're down with the families, and how we wanted this thing to not even happen if the families didn't want it to happen. That's why we're reaching out. With the collective effort of other content creators doing different things, look what happened. It's still up.
That all the proper steps are done. There's audio, that from my understanding, and if there's audio, I don't understand how you could take a house down and not say that people are going to want to hear those sounds from the location of the recording.
Exactly.
From inside the house, dog barking,
Exactly.
things like that. So we'll try to do everything, and something like that is just evidence. It's not
right
for or against. It's just evidence. So that's why we're trying to protect it.
It's evidence to be preserved. That's his position, and it may behoove the state to keep it standing, because if you're there in person, Vinny, it does make a difference to see how close this home is to the neighbor's camera that picked up the audio that she was referring to. But he also told me that at the last hearing, he spoke to the prosecutor, Bill Thompson, and the prosecutor said that this is going to be a long road for the families. They may not have all the answers for 3 years, Vinny, so this house would have to be standing for a long time in the middle of this community.
It's fascinating that he wants the house preserved as evidence for the trial, because there could be a jury view. We see it in many, many cases. In the Murdaugh case, they went back to the scene. It helped the jury to figure it out. It
with a
became
lot of these
great
cases.
Evidence for the prosecution in that case, even though prosecutors didn't want to necessarily go there.
With a lot of these cases, if there is, there ain't many. Just like 9 supplemental requests are normal. I just have a hard time thinking that's normal too, but I could be wrong. I'm just saying that out of a lot of these cases that I've talked about, covered, looked at, even before I started a channel, these are anomalies, in my opinion. It just don't make sense.
I am with him on that, by the way. I think in some states, there's like a view in almost every case, like Massachusetts, very common. So I'm with them there. They should preserve it because it is the scene. I understand the university from their perspective, but there's a criminal trial for a mass murderer, and doing everything you can to ensure a conviction should be the first priority, absolute first priority, because we know how things can go south inside a courtroom sometimes. I've seen it. Okay. Does he have any theory about the motive?
Yeah, he does, Vinny. I asked him, what's the connection? Because it's been rumored, Kaylee and Maddie were the targets of this mass murder. He told me something I hadn't heard him or his family say before about why they think the alleged killer actually went.
All right, now listen close. Just think person who committed the crime and what I was saying earlier.
To that home and murdered them. And remember, Maddie and Kaylee were on the 3rd floor. They were in the same room in the bed together, likely the place this murderer started. And so here's what he had to say about it.
They're just 2 girls that were always happy, always filming. So I think maybe he just seen that happiness, and there's something in him that was jealous of the fact that 2 people could love each other and be like the best friends. And I think that really rubbed him wrong and got him thinking about, well, why do they have this great life and I don't? And I think that's whoever he picked, that'll be the backstory.
And like he said, they didn't have to go upstairs either. Whoever they picked, they were jealous of 2 people being happy. You go back to what I was talking about. I don't know. StreamYard's bugging. Oh. All right. It looks like it's good enough now. Sorry about that. Steve G says the truth.
They're just two girls that were always happy, always filming. So I think maybe he just seen that happiness, and there's something in him that was jealous of the fact that two people could love each other and be like the best friends. And I think that really rubbed him wrong and got him thinking about, well, why do they have this great life and I don't? And I think that's whoever he picked, that'll be the backstory. Is just a jealousy of their lifestyle.
So he believes that allegedly this man was jealous of this lifestyle they were living. We know based on the affidavit, Vinny, that the alleged murderer visited this area of the crime scene 12 prior times before the murders actually took place. We know there's a lot of search warrants that are...
Again, this was streamed June 6th or June 9th. Thank you so much, Dre, for the super sticker. Oh, it's not letting me see it yet. Hold on. Let me type in thank you so it moves up one spot. There we go. Oh, it's the hippo saying KO. KO. Thank you, Dre. Appreciate that. I hope you're having a fun time down there. I need to make my way down there sometime and cover the Tupac trial. Every day of it.
Sealed in the court files of a digital trail of all types of social media, online outlets that could be revealing. We don't know everything because of the gag order, of course, but also Steve tells me he's not sure if this is the first time that this murderer allegedly did kill, but hopefully he wants those answers as soon as possible.
Yeah, Kaylee and Maddie were living their best lives. They were, and Kaylee graduated.
No, that's JS. That's why I said, who said that BF statement isn't something that contradicts the statement of what's in the PCA? Who says BF's statement isn't seeing a female walk away from the property? We just don't know. Definitely possible. Definitely possible. HS Dre, thank you again. Thank you so much for the super chat. So proud of you. Thank you so much. Well, he's talking about the girls, but you got to remember, Nina, back then, back in June, remember, Kaylee or Maddie is, even up until now, Kaylee or Maddie's the supposed target, blah, blah, blah. I'm one of the few, I don't even know really who else, but I'm sure there's others out there that feel the same way I do, that feels like they didn't have to go upstairs. I'm sure I'm not the only one, maybe I am, that feels like the frat party was involved and everything that took place was involved, and the reason why we don't know from 9 p.m. until 1:45 a.m. at Ethan and Xana is because of all the stuff that took place. If you missed the show earlier, definitely check out where I'm coming from. I don't know. I've thought this stuff for the whole time. When it comes to, and this is way back when it started, everybody, like, I don't know. I just never been able to kick it any other way. With the golf clubs, I mean, we talked about that stuff a long time ago. It could even be a starter set, like I've said before, with really expensive golf clubs, because Ethan's mom stated they were really nice golf clubs. With really expensive golf clubs, I know this because I'm a golfer in real life. Do you think that I could have afforded a whole set? No. Most people, maybe. I couldn't. I had to get a starter set. I had to start off with a couple woods, a driver, a putter, and a couple irons because I couldn't afford the whole set. They offer those at a discount. You still get the bags, you get all the stuff, but you just don't get all the clubs. It could easily have been a starter set. It could have been a golf bag where none of them were missing. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand. There's different types of sets out there. Just because it's a golf club set doesn't mean it comes with every club, everybody.
Especially when it comes to the expensive, nice ones. You can have it specified. You know what I'm saying? It's for the people that can't afford the whole set, that still want to be able to golf with those beautiful clubs. And trust me, they're beautiful because I have some. They're beautiful. It could be true. There might not be any missing, even if there's only a couple in the bag. I just want people to understand that. This is something, I've mentioned it looks like there's some missing, but there might not be. There might not.
Graduating early, getting ready for a job, all these other things. Amazing. Amazing stuff. All right. Now, this is Idaho. Death penalty.
Thank you, everybody,
is the
for
law
hanging out.
In Idaho, prosecutors can seek it. A jury can make a decision on it. Do they support the death penalty in this case?
Absolutely, they do. He told me that's why they moved to Idaho, because it has the maximum punishment like that, Vinny. And he says the person responsible for these murders should receive the highest level of punishment. And he says there is enough evidence in this case that it's over for this guy. Let's watch.
The death penalty, you support it, right?
We definitely do. Yep, that's part of the reason we moved to Idaho. We want a community that protects the most vulnerable, and that's something that if a father can't protect them, then you hope that the society is willing to step up and do the right thing. So that's what we're looking for. The ultimate form of justice is that.
So Steve said he wouldn't be surprised if this defendant tries to seek a plea for a lesser sentence, Vinny, but he believes that the person responsible will actually receive the max. I mean, all the evidence is there, and they want him to be sentenced to death.
Yeah, if you're looking at mass murder, you're looking at cruel murder, face-to-face, knife, pain involved, suffering involved in all this. I've spoken to death investigators looking at the evidence that we have. Seems like there's a strong argument for it. We'll see what prosecutors decide in this case. Meanwhile, the defense, they don't want the world to see this trial, do they?
They don't. We had our hands on some brand new motions from the defense team asking this judge to limit media coverage and cameras inside the courtroom.
Where's these kids coming from? Oh, I don't know who knows? Maybe she's on location in Idaho. What? Where would this be taking place? This is weird.
The defense,
this
they don't
is
want
weird.
the world to see this trial, do they?
They don't. We had our hands on some brand new motions from the defense team asking this judge to limit media coverage and cameras inside the courtroom. They're saying that there's numerous social media posts that have people overanalyzing this man's body language, according to the court filings, and they say that audio-visual coverage has just become an obsession almost of creating unfounded opinions in the media, and it's prejudicial and unfair to his right to a fair trial. And this was Steve Gonsalves's response to that.
If you're not a personable person and you give off weird vibes, yeah, you probably don't want nobody to actually see the truth, see who you are, and read you for how you behave. You can't hide the truth, man. I'm so tired of the secretive and all that stuff. I want this stuff to be out in the open. I
totally feel you, Steve G, for real, man. In my own personal way. Same fucking words.
There's more than enough evidence for people to make a decision, and how can the truth contaminate anything?
Man. Real shit.
And of course, we know Koberger, he's going to trial in October. Will we have cameras? Will we not? It may be brought up tomorrow in the hearings that we expect to cover in the courtroom. So far, we have cameras in there tomorrow, Vinny, about this gag order, and likely they'll bring up these other issues as well. He
just made the best argument, and I think, we should be making a court TV. Your Honor, how can the truth contaminate anything? How can the truth? You put a camera in the courtroom, you hear the evidence. You don't hear someone saying, well, someone said this inside the courtroom, which may or may not be true. You get to see it and hear it.
I know, that's what I was saying a couple nights ago, Kelly. Like, if the grand jury, I don't know, how do you not give them more evidence if that's what they're asking for? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand that.
So how on earth does the truth contaminate anything? I love that. That is amazing.
Who knows, Deb? Who knows, Deborah? I'm thinking like 2 years. 2 years from now, 3 years from now. I mean, this whole last court hearing, I have a feeling they're going to be taking it higher because they want this thing tossed before they even go to trial. So I don't know. I don't know. I was hoping as soon as possible because, there's enough out there about this. There's so much other stuff that, a lot of the stuff just needs to be talked about. But I get it, they need stuff to talk about. We're making content out of stuff that is nothing but the case stuff. We're going back through real shit. We're going back through real interviews and real questions and answers. And at the same time, realizing how much spin they were putting on shit back then. And
amazing. All right. Chanley's staying with us, folks. There's much, much more to this interview. Chanley drove around
What's up, Crystal?
Kaylee's neighborhood and true insight into today. That's coming up. Plus, coming up next hour.
Another verdict day at Court TV in Manchester, New Hampshire. Adam Montgomery, the father.
I want every parent to be able to have an opportunity to speak about their child and the nuances of what made them special. And then our ultimate goal is where people remember these kids and remember how bad this situation was, but it's them that they remember and not the person who did it.
I just have to say, for this whole time that we've been covering this case and the people that have trashed this gentleman, I don't understand it because this dude, 150. This dude is 150. You should never trash 150.
This person needs to disappear. When it's over and said with, they're not important. They're just a mistake that we let fall through our society's cracks, and we corrected that. And now we can, really kind of assess how much we lost when we lost these children.
And we're talking about Ethan, Kaylee, Madison, and Xana. Right? This is what this story, this case, and this trial will be about. What happened to these 4 young people. Chanley Painter is still with us in Idaho tonight. She spent some time, a lot of time actually, with Kaylee's father. And he did something special today to honor his daughter on her birthday.
He sure did. Today, like I told you earlier, is Kaylee Jade Day here in the Coeur d'Alene, Idaho area. And Steve allowed me to exclusively ride along with him as he kicked off the day to pay it forward. He delivered cash to several local coffee stands, places where Kaylee and Maddie worked growing up and living here in the area, so that they could give free coffees to local customers who stopped by and inspire them to also pay it forward in Kaylee's honor for the day. He said this community has given so so much to him and his family that he wanted to pay them back. Let's watch.
Plan today is we are going to go to a couple different locations. We're doing this Pay It Forward campaign, and we're actually driving her car. I'll never...
See what I'm saying? Positive energy, positive, even though you have all of this negative coming at you, you just keep pushing positive. You just keep pushing 150. Paying it forward. You know what I mean? Being grateful for the blessings that you do have instead of focusing on the venom. Paying the blessings forward. Continuing to push the 150, the PPP. Always thinking about the other person before you think about yourself. Always.
See, this car is mine. She paid for it. She knew I liked Range Rovers, but I was into the diesel Range Rover. But she felt like this was a super cute car, which probably is. But that's why it's hard for me to drive it. But today we'll be driving her car, and we'll be doing these Pay It Forward. I remember for months, Christy's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And you could tear it in that birthday from being a super stressful event to something that, you know that at least you're doing something to help people. You know, unfortunately, when something like this happens, you don't know what to do. You just, somebody knocks on your door and it's real at that moment when the police officer does that. So then you go from, okay, they just told us that our babies, 2 of our babies are gone, and they give you a business card and tell you to, call tomorrow and maybe you'll get some more details. At that moment, you feel so lost that you're like, okay, I have a million questions, but there's nobody to call. All right, so we're at the Ramsey. Yep, Renee Ramsey. These guys were amazing. These guys did everything to help us. So I'm glad I'm able to them.
Aw.
I think I'm going to go to this first window. Hello?
Wow, I didn't realize Chanley's as tall as she is. Holy shit. She's pretty fucking tall. This is so cool. You know what I'm saying? Always. The karma you put out, shouldn't that be what you want in return? If you want peace and love, shouldn't you continue to put out peace and love? You know what I'm saying? You can't be upset when what you put out comes back. You can't be. It's what you put out. That's what's inside your soul. That's the truth. Look at this right here. You can see it shining on display from Steve G. This is beautiful.
Hi. Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you guys. We're doing a Pay It Forward, so your meal's going to be free. You guys helped us out with fundraising. We wanted to give back to you guys.
Oh, well, thank you.
Your establishment has been amazing.
Oh,
thank you. Give me some. I'd give you a hug if I could.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
All right. You guys have a great day. Oh, see, they're already here. They even already had it. So I knew these were the right people. No, thank you. Like every day you wake up.
That's got to make him feel so damn proud right there. You know? That's got to make him feel so damn proud. What a video tonight. I'm so glad. I'm so glad we had the conversation earlier. I'm so glad about about then playing this one tonight as for the episode. What a beautiful episode. Save this link to your playlist. I'll put it in chat again. What a beautiful episode.
Up, you'd think like, well, I need to do something to help find this person. There's like a clue out there that needs to be found, and that's kind of how we were going at it. I remember feeling like this is exhausting. And then when we finally had a suspect, and the relief that you feel knowing that, okay, some answers will actually come and be answered. And that to me is one of the things that keeps you going and makes you wake up every morning and know that even though you're hurting, there's gonna be some meaning. Families realize that when a case like this big goes, a lot of times they want to label it after the person who did the atrocity. And, we are doing everything, all families, we've all agreed on this, to bring up stories and the memories and the narratives of our children. So then people remember our children and they don't just remember the person who acted out and did these things. That's the last thing we want them to just remember the killer and then never remember the victims.
My daughter used to work with you guys. Okay. Kaylee Gonzalez. We're gonna go have a dinner. We're gonna hang out at the swimming pool. Our family's coming over, do a little barbecue. Thank you. Have a great day.
We felt like we picked a really safe state and a safe community. We left the city in California where we'd be awoken in different times of the night with sirens and shootings and things. So, and then when this happened, I was like, who in Idaho would do this? Who would be capable of doing that in our community? And I remember talking to one of the officers. We've always tried to put some emphasis on saying we appreciate all the hard work, everything that they've done, and we know that we would not have justice without those men and those women. We were just in the court, a few weeks ago, and we got a little bit of time to talk to Thompson, and Thompson was, he said, it could be 3 years before you guys have any answers, and I was just like, wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow,
Wow, I didn't realize that back then he told him it could be 3 years. Huh. Well, there you go. 3 years, people. What a strong person, man.
That's hard to hear. So I want to just see the evidence, really. I just want them to come out and say, this is our case before. This is what they've got to prepare for. I mean, they have it, so let's just bring it out. I don't understand how that can be the truth. How can that be something that's going to contaminate a jury?
Yeah, here's we're going to start to pay it forward for.
Oh, you're awesome. People have already started.
All right, well, thank you. I'm glad they didn't have to wait. You guys have a great day.
Great job.
Thank you, guys. See you guys. We want to make them a part of this whole thing because it spreads the news, it spreads kindness. And, when the most ugliest things happen to you, you either can become ugly or you can spread some kindness. And that's what we're going for. And that's what, these girls would have wanted us to turn this into something that made us happy and stronger.
And Vinny, one of those coffee stands, Renee's on Ramsey, where I was live before the weather became precarious. We had to move inside now, but they gave away over 100 coffees and meals today. And they said that people were so inspired that they started donating cash as well, where they're going to be able to pay Steve back for what he donated, plus a lot more for the families. So the Gonzalez family hopes that this tradition, of course, continues every year in honor of Kaylee's birthday.
It really struck a chord with me is when Steve was talking about moving to Idaho and why he moved there. Every time my family's moved, right, you have to pack everyone up and go somewhere when you're in our business. And you're moving to a new area, you scout the area and you say, all right, where's the safest place? What's the safest street in the safest community? And I so much relate to what he did. And he did everything out of the city. And cities are fine, but he wanted to be someplace that was a little bit better, that he felt was safer, right? And to have that shattered as well is so heartbreaking. This is a dad who's trying to do everything, who did everything right, and still has to deal with this incredible heartbreak. It's unreal. It's unreal. Chanley, thanks so much for doing that. And please, next time you speak with Steve, tell him thank you as well, because what he did was important. I thought it was really important and made it so real. And one other observation from him, and you can see it in his eyes when he's talking about Kaylee and talking about the case. But then when you see him interacting with people, the smile comes on, and it looks like that is the medicine for him. Giving back and interacting, and it was, I could see it work right in front of our eyes. So that was amazing also. Okay, let's get back to business now. We're all going to be in court tomorrow. Tell us about tomorrow's hearing.
Yes, there are a couple of key hearings tomorrow around the gag order, Vinny. Steve tells me they're going to watch remotely. In fact, their family attorney, Shannon Gray, will Zoom in to argue. He had a long pending motion to modify or clarify a rather expansive gag order. That's going to be taken up first, and then we're going to hear from the media coalition who's fighting to vacate the order altogether. Steve Gonsalves and family are in support of taking down this gag order. Let's watch.
We've pushed back on the gag orders because it replaces the real media with, people that are trying to be the media, and some of them don't do a very good job of sourcing, and most of them don't. And even in the real media, they can make those mistakes. So I feel like a gag order just breeds misinformation.
So that will be taken up tomorrow, Vinny, and then there's also a key hearing June 27th. There's several outstanding motions from the defense about discovery, about grand jury materials, the cameras in motion. Hopefully we can have our cameras in the courtroom that day too. We'll find out.
Okay. Again, Steve, right on. Gag orders, bring us misinformation and also violate the First Amendment to the.
I'm sorry, Vinny. Say that again, sir. I mean, I am giving you a pass because you have Evil CJ Blue on. So anytime you have Evil CJ Blue on, I'm not going to hold it against you. So you get a free pass, Vinny. What's up?
A rather expansive gag order. That's going to be taken up first, and then we're going to hear from the media coalition who's fighting to vacate the order altogether. Steve Gonsalves and family are in support of taking down this gag order. Let's watch.
We've pushed back on the gag orders because it replaces the real media with, people that are trying to be the media, and some of them don't do a very good job of sourcing, and most of them don't. And even in the real media, they can make those mistakes. So I feel like a gag order just breeds misinformation.
So that will be taken up tomorrow, Vinny, and then there's also a key hearing June 27th. There's several outstanding motions from the defense about discovery, about grand jury materials, the cameras in motion. Hopefully we can have our cameras in the courtroom that day too. We'll find out.
Okay. Again, Steve, right on.
Thank you, Swamp
Gag orders, bring us misinformation and also violate the First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. We're going to be having that discussion in the 9 o'clock hour tonight with our think tank. Shanley, Painter, amazing work. We'll speak again. Thank you so much. All right, folks, when we come back, the accused killer. I'm not going to say his name. You know who I'm talking about? Wait till you see the photograph that we found of him and exactly where he was. Jaw-dropping. Next.
Wow.
On the next episode.
Jaw-dropping. Hold on. Let's see this again. Vinny, you got to pass tonight, brother. Is my music gone? Oh, it's there. Okay. I don't know. StreamYard's been bugging. My camera was like losing connection there. There we go. Your device is not connected. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it is. Let's hear that again.
The photograph that we found of him and exactly where he was. Jaw-dropping.
Jaw-dropping. Look at all these ladies around. Look at all these ladies around. Brian's got some dimples showing. He's got a little bit of dimples showing. All the ladies around, they're all, look at dimples, grins, smiles. Jaw-dropping? I would say so, Vinny. I would say jaw-dropping that this is supposedly a video that shows somebody as an incel. Very jaw-dropping. In fact, I mean, just look at it. Oh, there's one dude right there. There's a dude right there. He's kind of leaning in to get into the photo too. Look at all these people. I'm surprised they had him. I'm surprised they had him surrounded by females. Whoa. Now that is dangerous, right? Very dangerous to have this man around all of these females. Holy shit. What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Thank you so much. All right, folks, when we come back,
What are you
the
thinking?
accused killer.
Jaw-dropping.
I'm not gonna say his name. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, we know.
Wait till you see the
I've had enough of people not naming names. Come on now.
work. We'll speak
Oh,
again. Thank you so
please.
much. All right, folks, when we come back, the accused killer. I'm not going to say his name. You know who I'm talking about? Wait till you see the photograph that we found of him and exactly where he was. Jaw-dropping. Next.
You know, I want to pause this real quick because I want to make sure that, you know, I started off what I said earlier. The reason I said it's not the community's fault, it's up to the president. I want to let all of those people know that even though certain things were being said, it's up to the president to be honest. So I don't hold it against other community members for saying things that were not nice of the show, the community, or myself. Because it's up to the person that the channel is for them to not allow stuff to be considered a possibility when it's not. Because of how 150 I've been about the whole situation. So I don't want any of them to think that I hold anything against them, because I don't, because really it's not them that should have had the let's be real. So I just wanted to say that real quick. There's no hate. It was just facts. No hate. It's always love, even to the people that didn't have nice things to say about me, for real.
On the next episode of Accomplice to Murder.
Renee and Brett met when they were in high school.
Most of the time they were at each other's throats.
She was having an affair.
They were celebrating their anniversary right before her boyfriend confronted them on the beach and shot him.
She had to be a part of it.
I just knew that he was going to kill me next.
Did you kill Brent Poole?
Absolutely not.
A lecture at Northampton Community College in Pennsylvania. And now a picture from that lecture has surfaced. And sitting there in the front row, the accused Idaho killer, holding what appears to be is a copy of The Handmaid's Tale. How about that, folks? We need to analyze this. Joining me now in Los Angeles, California, senior reporter for DailyMail.com, Caitlin Becker is with us. Also in Los Angeles, need her tonight, forensic psychiatrist.
I liked what she had to say when she was on Court TV, the last program. I think it was the last show that we had Fresh Notes, Old Notes. Maybe it was last night. I remember what she had to say. She was the one that was actually being realistic about all this stuff. What was it? With the vehicle and stuff. I like what she has to say.
Trial expert witness, columnist of Inside the Criminal Mind, Dr. Carol Lieberman. Great to see you both tonight.
And I like Daily Mail too. I really like Daily Mail too. I don't like their damn website. Oh my gosh, the worst pop-ups you ever had in your life. Their videos, damn straight, yo.
Caitlin
No
Becker,
pop-ups.
your thoughts tonight
Oh,
on
pop-ups.
this photo that has surfaced? I'll be honest, I have not watched the series. People have described it to me. I get the gist of it. This is kind of creepy.
It's very creepy. I've watched the series, I've read the book. But the thing about Margaret Atwood is she is a feminist writer. And as you can see from that photo, Brian is one of very few, if any, men in this group. So I don't know if I'm in the minority here, but there is something about this that doesn't surprise me. Everything that we know about Brian Koberger, based on what people who know him have said, he's very intellectually arrogant. And I could see someone like him sitting in this group and trying to outsmart
Whoa. I'm sorry, I was caught off guard a little bit there. This is wow. Off of this photo? I mean, off of this photo. Wow. Okay. But it's old. It's old, right? It's 6/9/23. It's not that old. It is 4 months old. But I don't, I'm just like, whoa, okay. All right. Sorry, it just caught me off guard there. Speaking of, as much as what I was saying a minute ago, this community, we also are not about bashing or name calling or talking ill about other creators or anything like that. So please, I've always done it from the beginning. No matter what's taken place, even after what took place a few months ago, I've never allowed anybody to be disrespectful of another content creator or another person in my chat or the community. So please respect that as well, because it's always going to be that way, period. Okay. So I just want to also let everybody know that as well. I appreciate you guys. I really do. But it's just something I've always been about, no matter what, and always will be about. So, please, if you do have personal feelings, totally understand them. But if you do have personal feelings, please, just refrain from here. You know what I'm saying? Just it's about the peace, positivity, and progress 150% of the time, and that's what it is. It's just keeping that stuff, for another avenue. You know what I mean? I appreciate you.
the author. And we don't know if he said anything, but he's right there front and center. He's creepy. It's creepy. But it doesn't surprise me. I think I am alone in that, though.
Dr. Carol Lieberman, give us a little analysis here. What's going on?
Vinny.
Well, I think that picture is really so telling. You know, he looks relatively innocent there compared to what we know about him now, allegedly.
Right. Allegedly. This is what I'm saying, everybody. Right here. Allegedly. Allegedly.
I think I am alone in that, though.
Dr. Carol Lieberman, give us a little analysis here. What's going on?
Well, I think that picture is really so telling. You know, he looks relatively innocent there compared to what we know about him now, allegedly. He's sitting in the first row center. I think he was a fan. You know, how much he appreciated that what she was writing about, you know, how women were subjugated and, you know, really it was a sort of a spoof or a sarcastic take on this. You know, she wasn't saying that this is a good idea to have in society, but she provided him with fodder for his fantasies. So I think he was a fan of hers and he wanted to get up close and personal with her.
Caitlin, can you tell us a little bit more about the show and the book?
And when you are hearing this old MSM narrative, just keep in mind when they're talking about just put in place person that committed the crime. You know what I'm saying? Just put that in when you're hearing this old stuff. Person that committed the crime.
You know, I know very little about it. I may have to watch it now, though.
You know, I had to stop watching it, Vinny, because at a certain point, it started to get a little too close to what our society was kind of turning into. In the book, essentially, reproduction has halted. The propagation of the species was a problem. And so the fertile women who were left over became subjugated, and they were essentially hired out as surrogates to bear the children of the wealthy. And you heard in that clip, her name was Offred. It's of Fred. You lose your name and you become of the man, the family that you are serving. So I don't know if Brian Coburg in this case was looking for his of Brian, but
sorry, I must have rewound it too far. Sorry about that.
Into this grouping. It's a very sort of sick and twisted things. And you'll oftentimes at different political protests, you'll see women wearing the big habit.
I mean, I'm a fan of her
and the red dresses as a protest of whatever, you know, law or group they're protesting, saying that if you go forward with this, you're basically making us the women from The Handmaid's Tale.
Gotcha. Great description. Dr. Carol Lieberman, now we don't know if it was the author, the subject matter, or just wanting to be in a room with women who maybe were avoiding him. Anyway, any which way, it was a little unusual though, right? Because there's not very many men in that room with him.
Yes, I don't really think he was there to pick up women because that, you know, he could have been doing that. He was going to college there where this lecture was taking place, his junior college. And he had all kind of opportunities every day, really, to mingle with these women. That's why I think it was really primarily for this author to be in her presence and to listen to what she was going to be talking about. Even sitting there, you know, he has this kind of strange smirk on his face. It almost looks like he's fantasizing while she's talking in this lecture in the college room.
Unbelievable developments. But, you know, where we are now, people everywhere digging up information here.
Right? All these sources close to the investigation, right? I bet Swampside. Oh. I got some surprises for you guys coming up in a couple weeks as well. Also, Wednesday evening, I'm thinking I'm going to do my first drawing show. Okay, so Wednesday evening, just be on the lookout. I think I'm going to do my first drawing show where you guys get to sit and hang out with me while I draw a picture. So that'll be the first art stream that I'm going to do. And then when it comes to Godsmack, in a couple weeks, I'm going to be playing some real acoustic and electric for you guys on some shows too. You'll be able to hear the real songs. You'll be able to see the notes that I'm playing. And you'll also be able to have cameras, 2 cameras, where you guys get to hang out and watch CJ jam out on an acoustic and an electric guitar, different songs. So that'll be coming up too, trust me. Thank you all for your support because it allows me to be able to do and be available for you all 24/7 and to be able to bring all these different things that I've wanted to bring you as the Evil CJ show. I can't wait to be able to bring these other things as well. And plus, painting stream, that'll be coming up, but that's probably going to come after Thanksgiving. But Wednesday, look for a drawing. We'll just hang out and do a drawing show. Chill back, listen to karaoke music. I'll be doing my drawing. I'll be chatting with you as I draw. And if you'd like to, you can draw along as well. And if you do draw pictures, go ahead and send them to me at any of these links down here. and I will go ahead and show you drawings too. So I think it'll be cool. If you do draw what I draw, then I'll include what you draw in my thumbnail if you're drawing what I draw. So any thumbnail will include anybody's pictures that they want to send to me. I want to do that for you guys as well. So any of you artists out there that want to hop on and showcase your art too, I would love to highlight you and your artistic abilities as well. I think it's going to be really cool. It doesn't matter, detective. It don't matter. Yes, I need to get a bottle of wine for that, though. Wine and painting. I don't know if I'm going to drink wine when I'm drawing. But definitely when I paint, I like to have a glass or two of wine as I paint. Listen to some classical music and, get the paintbrush flowing. So thank you all for your support. I appreciate you so much. And it allows me to be able to do this stuff for you. Thank you, because there's so many things that I've wanted to... What's up, Emily? But there's so many things I wanted to be able to bring you, and I'm able to start doing that here soon. But we got that surprise coming up towards the end of the weekend. If you've been around the show for a while, you know what I'm talking about. So that was a very interesting episode. I'm glad that we watched it because it was a very heartfelt episode. It was one of the best episodes that I feel that Steve G was on. And totally displayed the 150 when it comes to the energy that is getting thrown at you and the energy that you in turn push back. It's very important. Very important. And shout out to Steve G, because there's no reason anybody should ever bash that man. He's done nothing but tried to have justice for all these victims. If anything, Steve should always be praised, because it takes a special person to be able to take on that kind of energy and still continue to push out the opposite. Instead of using the negative energy for fuel to then push negative energy, it's using the negative energy to then fuel the positive energy. Exactly, Nicola. Shout out Steve G. If you want that for your playlist, please. It's one of the best videos you'll probably ever have in your playlist to Idaho4 right there. The video that we just watched. All right, so let me see here. We are at the 2 hour and 20 minute mark. We're going to get back into my fresh notes, old notes folder. We got something else for you. Let me see. What else was I going to... Let's see here. Okay. This is one that I actually wanted to play a few days ago. Now, this is... Wow, 1 million views, of course. Now, this is a video. This is a local news station, and this is why I love the local news station videos, because you get the realest shit from them, okay? Now, this took place just a few days after the crime. This was on November 19th. Let me get my date thing here. This was November 19th, 2022. Just a few days after the crime. And this is, you all know, Creme 2. Shout out Creme 2. I appreciate their hard work and their efforts as well, because I really do feel like they report the truth. Shout out to them. Now, this is going to be, remember, when we first started this Fresh Notes, Old Notes, that's when I kind of showed you the introductory videos when they were getting frustrated because they weren't getting answers.
The community, they were talking to the community. The community was telling them that stuff doesn't make sense and that they're scared, even though what they're being told. Okay? It's the same reporters that also confirmed that the unconscious person was called for one of the 4 unalived victims. And they also said that stuff doesn't make sense and didn't make sense, especially with the type of crime that took place, because it reminded them of another crime that took place just a few years back. But they got all the stuff that... So it was very telling. And that's why I love local TV stations. That's why if anybody ever sends me a link, I'll always prefer a local TV station, because they're just like us here on YouTube. We do the dirty work. We have to get our knees dirty. We have to dig down. We have to do the research. And we have to be responsible with it too. Just like a local TV reporter. Ticket number 8, thank you very much. What's up? Let me see here. Vicky, what's up, DJ? Thank you, appreciate that. Ticket 92. 49er girl. Uh-oh, you snuck in here? A little late, but hey, y'all. What's up, 49er girl? Thank you, appreciate that. So this is Crime 2. This is a few days after the crime took place. This is titled, and I'm going to share this link with you like I always do the others. Excuse me. University of Idaho students unalived. YouTube. An in-depth look at the first few days of the investigation. This is going to be just like the video we just watched. Very important. This one right here, you're definitely you're going to want to... There's going to be little bits and pieces. We're going to go through it. Look, it's only 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. I'll be here for a little while. If you notice something, ask me to pause it, rewind it. Just let me know. We're doing this together. It's about community. That's the only way we can do this. We can't do it alone. We can only do it together. So let me know. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. Ticket 61. Thank you, Swampside.
I've been here in Moscow on scene since about 3 p.m. Since I've been here, I've watched Moscow police cars come in and out of this neighborhood, where officials found 4 people dead. Neighbors say they began noticing police cars flood the area around 12 p.m. today. Moscow police say they responded to a call here on King Road for an unconscious individual. Upon further investigation, officials found 4 people dead. While police investigated the scene, the University of Idaho enacted a shelter-in-place alert as university officials reported a homicide near campus. As we've stated, that alert is lifted at this time. Neighbors say most people living in this area are a part of U of I Greek life or are students, but we do not know the identities of those involved or who lives at the residence. Officials are investigating. This is a very much developing situation, and we will continue to stay on the grounds until we... As we've stated, that alert is lifted at this time. Neighbors say most people living in this area are a part of U of I Greek life or are students, but we do not know the identities of those involved or who lives at the residence. Officials are investigating. This is a very much developing situation, and we will continue to stay on the grounds until we have more information to report back to you.
Thought I saw
Until
something.
then, in Moscow, Janelle Finch, Creme 2 News.
And there's the link in chat if you want the link to this video for your records or for your playlists.
Thank you all for hanging out
So
tonight.
police
Appreciate
still
it.
have this house here near University of Idaho taped off. This right here is where officers found 4 bodies yesterday. We now know the names of those 4 students. They were 20-year-old Ethan Chapin from Conway, Washington, 21-year-old Madison Mogan from Coeur d'Alene, 21-year-old Kaylee Goncalves from Rathdrum, Idaho, and 20-year-old Dana Kernodle from Avondale, Arizona, and they were all University of Idaho students. Here's a breakdown of the timeline from what we know so far. Around 1 p.m., we heard reports of a homicide investigation near the college campus. An hour later, the school put out an alert on social media. It said Moscow PD is investigating a homicide on King Road. They asked the community to stay away from the area and shelter in place as a precaution. Around 3 in the afternoon, Krem2 arrived in Moscow. Neighbors said most people living in this area are a part of U of I Greek life or are students. At around 5 in the evening, the Moscow Police Department confirmed they had found 4 people dead, but it wasn't until late last night that they confirmed those victims were
Around what time? Okay. So look at what time this vandal alert went out, right? Right? Let's look. 2:07 p.m. (2:07 p.m.) And I'm sorry. What, like I said, you got to have your earbuds in. What did they say was the time that MPD confirmed?
investigating a homicide on King.
Because what's a homicide, people? Isn't a homicide a people something? It's where somebody passes. No. You have vandal alert, investigating
King Road. They asked the community to stay away from the area and shelter in place as a precaution. Around 3 in the afternoon, Krem2 arrived in Moscow. Neighbors said
3 in the afternoon.
most people living in this area are a part of U of I Greek life or are students. At around 5 in the evening, the Moscow Police Department confirmed they had found 4 people dead, but it wasn't until late last night that they confirmed those victims were students. The university also
5 p.m. Now, people would probably say, well, they have to confirm. They weren't taught. They just said confirmed later on that night. 5 p.m. to confirm 4. But the vandal alert was out at 2:07 p.m.
and shelter in place as a
That
precaution.
stinks.
Around
Does
3
that
in the
not
afternoon,
stink?
Krem2 arrived in Moscow. Neighbors said most people living in this area are a part of U of I Greek life or are students. At around 5 in the evening, the Moscow Police Department confirmed they had found 4 people dead, but it wasn't until late last night that they confirmed those victims were students. The university also said Moscow police do not think there's any active threat at the moment as they continue their investigation. Classes for University of Idaho students are canceled for the day. They say they will resume classes tomorrow. In Moscow, Nicole Hernandez, Krem 2 News.
Moscow police responded to King Road for a call about an unconscious person Sunday afternoon. When police arrived, they found the 4 deceased students inside the home. This morning, the city of Moscow and University of Idaho identified all 4 U of I students. Freshman Ethan Chapin of Conway, Washington, was a member of the Sigma Chi fraternity. Dana Kernodle, a junior from Post Falls, was a member of the Pi Beta Phi sorority. Madison Mogan was a senior from Coeur d'Alene, and Kaylee Goncalves was a senior from Rathdrum.
This is a pretty traumatic situation for our campus community.
I'm telling you. Every time I see this dude, I gotta pause and say, shout out to your hair products, sir. What is that? What do y'all think it is? Is it like LA Looks style gel from the 90s? What the hell? You guys know what I mean? The LA Looks style gel from the 90s. It had all the bubbles in it and shit. It was all like neon looking colors. You know what I mean? Dude, I mean, like I said, I'm fucking jealous, man. Look at that hair, yo. That shit. Like, you could literally just take a clippers and you don't even have to comb that shit. You know what I'm saying? Look at it. You don't even have to comb it. You could just straight. I mean, damn. I'm jealous. Don't take it the wrong way. I'm jealous. Oh, it ain't no wig.
Dean of Students.
It ain't no wig. That's real shit.
Blaine Eccles says news of the suspected homicide shocked the Vandal community.
This is rocking their world. Many of them come from small communities where things like this have never happened.
He says drop-in counseling is available to students at any time. He recognizes that many students have already returned home early for the upcoming holiday.
People need to navigate through this situation in the way that best suits them. If students need to go home, be closer with their...
He's even got like that ocean mist wave going in the front. You know what I mean? Like, damn, bro.
Families want to return home. I support them in doing that. We're going to support them in doing that.
Support for U of I goes beyond the university campus. Businesses throughout the city of Moscow are offering prayers and thoughts for the Vandal community. And because Moscow is a tight-knit community with a strong relationship with the university, this response isn't a surprise to Mayor Art Bettage.
I feel very badly for them, and not just for the victims, but everybody else who's a friend and associate with those people.
He told me he was shocked by the news about what he's calling a senseless act of violence.
This is stuff that shouldn't happen, especially in a small, quiet town like Moscow is.
Bushy eyebrows, yo. I told you, BK's not the only one. There's somebody else in Moscow that has bushy eyebrows.
Where we're heavily involved with the university. And these are things that affect not just town, but the university, the students. Lends everybody to a sense of insecurity about what's going on here and why. And it's a very tragic and sad situation all around.
In speaking with Kaylee Gonzalez's mother and sister, they tell me Kaylee was a strong and passionate go-getter. She even already had a job lined up in the tech industry after graduation. Kaylee was one of 5 Gonzalez's children. She graduated from Lake City High School, the same school as Maddie Mogan, another victim. Kaylee's family says the two were especially close, and Maddie was a part of their family as well. Kaylee's oldest sister, Olivia, shared a statement on behalf of the Gonzalez family. It reads in part, Kaylee was, is, and always will be our defender and protector. She is tough and fair, the ultimate middle child. She did absolutely everything she set her mind to. She didn't hold back on love, fights, or life. Kaylee was the ultimate go-getter and constantly wanted an adventure. We still have a lot of questions about what happened. Also looking for answers is Kaylee's family. Kaylee's sister, Olivia, asked the public to stop spreading rumors about what happened and wait for the facts from police. We are continuing to ask our own questions and will continue to bring you updates as we get them. In the studio, Janelle Finch, Crime 2 News.
Ethan Chapin, his brother and sister, all grew up here together. They went to school here together, and together they enrolled at the University of Idaho. 3 inseparable siblings, now torn apart.
You just couldn't ask for better kids.
Dave Hayton considered Ethan Chapin family.
That's why I'm saying you should check out my Spotify playlist. You'd be amazed what I got on there.
All the Chapin kids, actually. He and his wife watched them grow up in their Conway neighborhood. They'd come over for fudgesicles from the basement freezer. When the couple heard what happened, they were crushed.
She's crying. And she says, Ethan's been murdered.
Aw.
Yeah. I just couldn't, you just can't get your head around it.
All 3 siblings attended the Conway School before moving on to Mount Vernon High, where Ethan played on the basketball team and graduated last year. All 3 later decided to attend the University of Idaho. Ethan and his brother were members of the same fraternity.
I know I didn't sleep a lot last night. I just thinking of them.
Man,
we had some good times together.
The Haytons treated the kids like grandchildren. The couple shared these photos from Ethan's mom's Instagram page. This one taken just a few weeks ago at Parents' Weekend. Dave recalls Ethan as smart, athletic, and always respectful. He says all 3 were great kids, and having one of them gone is inconceivable.
I remember last night I woke up several times and I think, gee, I wish somebody would just tell me this is a bad dream.
Oh man.
But unfortunately, it's not a bad dream. Yeah, it's a reality.
Still no word as to a potential motive in these killings, no word as to a potential suspect. However, authorities in Idaho do say that there is no threat to the public.
No threat to the public. And you know the worst part of that is if this case gets dismissed, mistrial, he gets exonerated, or gets found guilty. The saddest part will be if the right person wasn't convicted in any of those scenarios, and that is another person out there. Can you imagine what that man's gonna feel if any of those happen? Is that really justice for the community? You know, when you see those kind of interviews, this is why I love local TV stations. You get the real shit. When you see those kind of interviews, it breaks your heart. You know what I mean? Like, we know that ugly exists in this world. We know that. It's unfortunate. It's the yin and the yang. But when the right thing's not happening, and then you have to see these interviews, that's what really kills you when you see this shit, because you see it and you're like, man, this person shouldn't even have to feel that. And the fact that they're feeling that, you should be trying to rectify that feeling as best as you can. That's why it's so important. So important that it's about truth. We found that shit out with Delphi. They were told today was the day. Now look at that case. Imagine that family in Delphi when they were told today is the day. Those families. They finally heard that after all those years. And now look at what took place. Imagine them.
In Conway, Washington, Eric Wilkinson for Creme 2 News.
Right, Swamp Side?
We've watched this memorial grow all day long. Students dropping off flowers and stuffed animals, remembering the 4 young lives that were lost. And there's still a lot of unanswered questions tonight, like how this happened and why.
Like, it's all just shocking and scary. Like, I never would have thought that this would have happened here.
Tonight, yellow crime tape still surrounds the house where 4 young college students were found dead over the weekend, a crime shocking the University of Idaho community. Classes were canceled today, and some students have decided to go on Thanksgiving break early.
A lot of people left last night, and then we were like, I know we were like one of the only ones who actually stayed here last night. My mom has called me every single hour for since 7 a.m. this morning. So yeah, they want me to come home if I don't feel safe.
Moscow police have not said much about what exactly happened, but they have released the names of the victims. 2 of them, Zana Kernodle, a junior from Post Falls, and Madison Mogan, a senior from Coeur d'Alene, were servers at the Mad Greek restaurant in downtown Moscow. The restaurant posted on Facebook saying the 2 brought so much joy to the restaurant and all they encountered. Mad Greek is now closed, giving staff time to grieve along with the rest of the community. And the university is planning a vigil for the victims. That's taking place at 5 p.m. on Wednesday on the lawn outside the administration building. In Moscow, Kyle Simchuk, Creme 2 News.
This is from local television, see? Right here. Maintain there was no threat to the public, but declined to answer questions. This poor community, man. And Birdie couldn't even step up.
Well, the Moscow Police Department hasn't added any new information since they released a press release this morning about the homicide investigation. But a few hours ago, we did speak with the Latah County coroner. Kathy Mabbitt is calling all four deaths homicides, and that the cause of death is likely a stabbing. But we won't know that for certain until the autopsy report comes back and she can make that official ruling. Now, to take that a step further, Latah County contracts its autopsies out to the Spokane County Medical Examiner. And I confirmed this afternoon that Spokane County is in fact conducting the autopsies on the 4 University of Idaho students. Now, the Spokane County spokesperson says the medical examiner has not yet started those autopsies. Once they are done, the medical examiner will forward her recommended findings to the Latah County coroner. And the Moscow Police Department or the Latah County coroner will release the official ruling. Now, this afternoon, when we talked to the coroner, she described a gruesome crime scene.
Right here.
Well, there was a lot of blood. It was, yeah.
We've seen this how many times? You have to wait for the press conference, remember?
It was. It's a very sad scene.
Mabbitt adds that she does not believe the toxicology report on each of the 4 University of Idaho students will be relevant to the manner or cause of death. Now, Mabbitt has been the county coroner for 16 years in Latah County. She says in that time, there have been at least 2 other multiple homicide scenes that she's been involved in. But she says this current homicide investigation is the only one she's been to where there are 4 people at one scene. Now, we are continuing to press local authorities like the Moscow Police Department, as well as the Latah County prosecutor. I have made multiple calls into their offices yesterday and today, have not got a call returned from either agencies. Now, we know there are University of Idaho students, their families, and the greater Moscow community, many of which are still concerned for their safety, even though the police department says there is no active threat to the community. So that is why we remain here in Moscow pressing for answers. And once we do get those, we'll continue to keep you updated. Reporting in Moscow, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
2 of the 4 University of Idaho students who died on Sunday, Xana and Maddie, both worked here at Mad Creek Restaurant. The restaurant has closed its doors for now, and they have also put out a memorial for all 4 of those students. Tucked inside a Main Street restaurant bench is a memorial catching the community's attention, including Annalise Mitchell. She's a sophomore at University of Idaho.
I just wanted to kind of take a moment to remember them.
Annalise is one of many students struggling to process the death of 4 fellow classmates.
It's been surreal, devastating, horrific, honestly.
Annalise knew the 4 students from the university's Greek life.
Well, truth and justice, we don't do that here, so thanks for hopping in. Thank you, Sleuthen. Thanks for hopping in, Truth and Justice, but as you hang out in the show, you'll see that we're not about that. So
when I did talk to them, they were just nothing but kind and nothing but bright and positive, and they definitely made an impact on everyone that they've met.
Now,
thank you for coming in.
Resume today, many students are leaving campus.
People can't even focus on their schoolwork. Like my sisters and I, we've tried to do our homework, and it's not possible.
Yeah, because there's not even a profile out. They don't even know if their friend is the one that could have committed this crime, you know? That's what I was saying about Birdie. Like, Birdie, how could you not break off 20,000 of these warning devices, at least 30? You know? They had no profile. They weren't allowed to put out a reward. These students were still trying to finish a semester. This is our future. This is our future. Can you imagine trying to finish a college course or be close to it, and then you don't even know, you can't even be a single mother in that neighborhood or town and go get milk for your baby by yourself with your baby because you can't even walk nowhere by what? Imagine how many people compromised stuff that they needed because they couldn't go anywhere. It's so sad.
Annalise says for her friends that are still here, she's just being supportive.
Nothing will be the same. At least we're all here for each other and just remembering.
But that community doesn't take away the pain.
Just angry, honestly, because again,
Oh, I never said you were here to create anything, Truth and Justice. What I did say was that the community is not about that. Never has been. And thank you for hopping in. And the more that you hang out in the show, I'm sure the more you'll see. Or even old episodes that you watch. No, I appreciate you. This is nothing about, I'm not even feeling like you came in like that. I was just simply saying, I notice you're new. I'm just simply saying, we're not about that. We never have been. So it's always about respect. Always about respect. 150. Others more than yourself. So it's all good. Thank you for hopping in and checking out the show.
it's 4 people. It's 4 people that have touched so many lives and have touched my friends, and to see them in such grief and suffering, it just makes me angry.
In Moscow, Nicole Hernandez, Crumb 2 News.
It's not something you ever expect to hear.
Through the tears and shock, Jim and Stacy Chapin.
And we watched this just a couple shows ago, too. I remember this one.
And described the moment they found out their son Ethan was gone.
It's not a call that you think that you're going to have to speak with the funeral home directors and the FBI and have it hit national news.
Earlier this week, Moscow police identified Chapin as one of the 4 victims killed in the home just off campus. Stacy and Jim said their son was staying with his girlfriend at the house, who was also killed, Xana Kernodle. So far, police haven't released many details about the investigation, and as questions mount, the Chapins say they wanted to make sure Ethan's story was told.
It's important for us to get Ethan's story out. We don't really want anybody else representing him. And it's hard to have people speaking on his behalf. So we think it's best for us to do this.
He's the kind of kid that everybody wanted to be around. He was just a good kid.
He's a good kid.
That
kind to all.
Didn't deserve what happened.
No.
They say Ethan was a triplet. He and his siblings were extremely close. In fact, they all decided to attend the University of Idaho. Jim says Ethan was an athletic kid who played club soccer and refereed youth sports. His smile, he says, lit up a room, and he made friends wherever he went. They had just spent last weekend at the university for Parents' Weekend.
And as we pulled out of Moscow, we literally were like, we've done it. We've literally done it as parents.
Wow.
We've created 3 incredible humans that will go on and have something great to offer to this
What the fuck was
world.
that?
Honestly, all 3 of them.
A week later, as they grapple with this horrific loss, they say they're determined to keep moving forward for Ethan.
But we will not let this sink us. or
Sorry
sink our
about that,
kids.
everybody.
Because if anything, they have to go on and shine Ethan's bright light on their own.
Wow, what a video. It gives you like a day-by-day kind of statement. Seriously, this is another great video tonight, everybody. Here's the link again. Day by day, as the crime was... Wow, what a presentation, Creme 2. Wow.
Moscow Police Chief James Fry, University of Idaho President Scott Green, and the Director of Idaho State Police, Colonel Kendrick Wills, all spoke at today's press conference. Before Wednesday's press conference, Moscow police had only told the public the 4 students were found dead inside the home late Sunday morning. Wednesday, they revealed that all 4 victims were stabbed to death. Chief Fry says 2 other roommates were at the home during the attack, but were not injured, and he is not calling them witnesses. He said they were also home when police arrived at the house. Fry did not say why the call to police was not until noon on Sunday, when the attack happened in the early morning hours. Police said it appeared to be a targeted attack, but did not explain why. Moscow police have also been saying that they do not believe there is an ongoing threat to the community. But today, the tone changed. Police say the search for a suspect continues and people should look out for each other. Meantime, we found this video from a Moscow food truck that's from early Sunday morning. It shows 2 of the students, Kaylee and Maddie, ordering food.
And I'm sorry, I heard about what was being discussed about this video somewhere else, and I'm sorry. I've been on Grub Truck. Nothing but love. Had a great night of comedy with the fellas at the Grub Truck. I have my own Twitch. I streamed to Twitch. I showed up as Evil CJ and showed him nothing but love. I can't believe some of the shit that I heard that was being talked about. When it comes to these employees, that was disgusting.
Food around 1:40 a.m. This is one of the last times they were seen. Moscow police say this video is helping investigators recreate a timeline of events from that night.
And it has helped. It gives us a time and space where we know that 2 of our victims were, and that helps us a ton, and we'll continue to follow up all leads that we
Thank you
can.
so much.
The family of Kaylee Gonsalves have seen the video and agreed to let us publish it. They identified Maddie Mogan wearing the long black jacket and Kaylee, who is with her, in the white sweatshirt.
It's normally a place where everyone feels really safe.
Joseph Woodall is the manager of the Grub Truck. He is seen in the video working the cash register, taking the girl's order. This afternoon, he described their interaction with me.
One of the blondes was just a little bit more cheery and kind of bouncing around a little bit more. And then one was like standing there and doing the...
Seriously, he's such a funny guy. Like, if you... That's why I'm saying, like, one of these nights that it's a Saturday night and we're up that late, you know, like it would all... Like we did last night with Harsh and Truth and Transparency. We all went and supported them and hung out, and that's kind of what I want to do with the Grub Truck sometime, because they're so cool. Dude's funny as hell, and I want to do that sometime where we take our community and we just bomb them with love. You know what I mean? Just bomb them with love. Just bomb them with love.
Hello, how are you? And go through the interactions. And normally that's pretty normal. In most of our groups, there's people that are more energetic and people that are managing the energetic people.
Joseph told me he felt incredibly sad when he learned the news about the girls he had just seen the other night.
Hope they find the person. Hope they get the person.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Nothing but respect and love. You know what I mean? And this is the next day after postponing a vigil earlier in the week. The university invited students and the public to a free basketball game. That's supposed to fix it.
Definitely a somber mood
This
at tonight's
community,
game.
man.
Quite a few empty seats in the student section as well. A lot of them have gone home early for Thanksgiving break, but we talked to students that decided to stick around. They were at tonight's game and they told us they were happy the university didn't cancel this, gave them a chance to see some of their friends, classmates, and somewhat sense of normalcy. A lot of them telling us they won't feel entirely safe on campus until this murderer is caught.
Basketball fans, at this time, we ask that you please stand and join us in a moment of silence for the 4 University of Idaho students that were tragically taken from us on Sunday.
The names of the 4 students found murdered inside a home near campus were read aloud before tonight's game. The Moscow community still in shock.
Definitely like a ghost town here. Weird seeing everyone just pack up and leave.
Like many other students, Jessica Jacobs and Asha Cummings haven't been going to class and say they don't feel as safe alone or on campus as they did a week ago.
The only reason we're still here is because we had a little trip planned going opposite of our homes, but you know, we've been staying together every night, trying to stay as safe as we can, but we definitely aren't going to go home early.
A question of safety is on everyone's mind right now.
During a press conference this afternoon,
Seriously, and I want to say to all the community members, thank you for showing up. You know, seriously, thank you for showing up to support me, supporting other people. I really appreciate you. Somebody would have to. I never even saved the episode. I played it for everybody one night. I couldn't even tell you when it was. I just didn't even think about saving it or anything. It was just something that I wanted to. I couldn't even tell you. If somebody finds the video and you want to let me know, sure, I'll show it. But that stream's probably gone by now, and honestly, I didn't even make a note of when I did it. I just wanted to do it out of, love and respect for the crew. So I didn't even think about jotting it down or anything. Let me know if you find it.
University of Idaho officials said they've increased campus patrols and students can request a
I'll
security.
tell you what, the next time that we go hang out, when I pop in there and say what's up, they'll remember, so even if we don't find the episode, we'll hang out. They'll remember me. Yeah. It was comedy. It was comedy that night. It was good times. Cause you know how I'm making t-shirts. So I'm sitting there just having comedy with the fellows. It was good stuff. It was like playing off each other. It was
Day
good
or
stuff.
night. The university is also excusing all absences.
That if they want to leave and go home now, they absolutely can. We're going to support them in doing so.
Classes were canceled the day after the 4 bodies were found, but resumed on Tuesday. School officials say some students want to keep their minds occupied.
They gain comfort in being around their other students. They gain comfort from interacting and staying busy with their faculty.
I'm happy they're still doing it, and we're here to support our teams, so we're happy to be here. Lucky that we still get to come to.
That's all that showed up? I mean, they were probably gone. They got the hell out of Dodge, right? I didn't realize the court was that small. That's like my high school gymnasium was like twice the size of that. 3 times the size of that. That's crazy. And that's a college, huh? That's shocking, actually.
To this and feel safe here.
And the university has postponed a candlelight vigil until after Thanksgiving break in order to give as many students that want to attend the opportunity to. That's scheduled for sometime on November 30th. In Moscow, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
The Spokane County Medical Examiner finished the autopsies yesterday and sent them over to the Latah County Coroner. With that, the coroner sent out this. You can see here at the bottom of the document, cause of death, homicide, murder, and manner of death is stabbing. Moscow PD says whoever did this used a large knife. We also learned yesterday Idaho State Police say investigators think the killer got in the house through the sliding glass door. ISP says the forensic team is taking another look at the house to make sure they didn't miss any details.
We intend to come out and solicit information from the public if they are within certain areas that we believe are of interest for this investigation. And so hopefully today or early tomorrow, we will come out with a map where the victims were at specific times during the night and ultimately ending at their residence.
The FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit is now helping in the investigation. They do crime analysis, create suspect profiles, and help with interview strategies. ISP says an FBI command vehicle is on its way to bring Moscow up more resources. As for the other 2 roommates who were home during the attack, ISP says they are cooperating with investigators. They are not suspects or persons of interest as of now, but ISP says nobody is clear from the investigation yet. In the newsroom, Nicole Hernandez, Crime 2 News.
Earlier this evening, the University of Idaho released a statement urging students to be vigilant. For those that are still here, security will increase over this weekend. Moscow police say patrols have also ramped up around the community. The school district says patrols will monitor the area around its schools. Idaho State Patrol is helping with this extra police presence. People I spoke with in the community today are less concerned about their own safety and more focused on making sure the suspect or suspects are found.
In your 70 years of living in this area, would you ever have thought that something like that could happen?
No, really. No.
I definitely was shocked and a little scared, but at the same time, I do have a feeling that the person who did this was somebody that they knew, and so I wasn't personally afraid.
This morning, I noticed quite a few more law enforcement just out and about. I'm really grateful for them.
People say they're thankful Moscow PD are calling on the necessary agencies to help protect the community and figure out what exactly happened on Sunday. In a press conference yesterday, we learned from the Moscow Police Chief, James Fry, that the department has called on 25 plus investigators, the state police, and FBI to assist in solving this case. The Moscow Police Department maintains that this was a targeted attack. For that reason, the people I spoke to say they don't personally feel a threat in the community. But like said, the University of Idaho is reminding people here to remain vigilant and provide any and all information you can to Moscow police. In Moscow, Janelle Finch, Crime 2 News.
People across the country want to know what happened inside this home and why. For those living in Moscow, there's still a lot of fear and uncertainty. And how could there not be? 4 young college students were stabbed to death, and their killer still hasn't been caught. Ever since the yellow crime tape went up, the Moscow Police Department has faced scrutiny for not providing as much information about the case as some would like to know.
You know, there's some things that only the people that were at that scene would know. And so you definitely don't want to release that information to the public.
Gary Jenkins is the former chief of Pullman Police and now serves in that role for the WSU Police Department. He says sharing details is a balancing act, keeping people safe and informed without compromising the investigation.
Just trying to make sure that when detectives go out and interview people, it's based on what they know, not what they've heard on the news.
The University of Idaho told students this week they could go home early for Thanksgiving break if they didn't feel safe around campus, and many already have. Jenkins says that could pose a challenge for detectives.
Well, detective, that's one of the things. If you hang out in the community, you'll see the community here is about innocent until proven guilty, and is also about the right person being convicted of the crime. We're not about a guilty person being set free, and we're not about an innocent person being convicted of a crime. And all of us are that way. So that's just where we are as a community here, period, no matter what. So everybody has their theories, thoughts, and opinions. I'm not standing at the water cooler, so I honestly don't know. And nobody is, because if they were, they wouldn't be on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't be talking on YouTube. They wouldn't be in chats on YouTube. They wouldn't be on panels. They wouldn't be discussing anything about the crime or the evidence on YouTube. So none of us are really at the water cooler. None of us truly know until there's due process.
Trying to interview witnesses. It was for him during the hazing death of Sam Martinez, which also occurred right before Thanksgiving break in 2019.
Most of the witnesses left town, and that's the type of investigation you need to have a one-on-one in-person interview. And so it does definitely complicate that investigation.
Jenkins says the answers all of us want could take time.
They're trying to juggle a lot of balls in the air right now, particularly with
I mean, I'm my own person, so I'm going to tell myself to be responsible. So I'm my own person. I'll be telling myself about being responsible. So Not taking anything the wrong way. I'm just letting you know what we're about. And I'll be responsible as long as I want to be responsible. And the people that are in my community know how much responsibility that I carry. That's all that needs said, sir.
4 victims. It's going to be a very complex crime scene. It's going to be a complex investigation.
New details are emerging in the stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students. Tonight, the Latah County coroner says the 4 students were likely asleep. Some had defensive wounds, and each victim was stabbed multiple times. Authorities found no sign of sexual assault. Moscow police say at this point in the investigation, they do not believe the 2 surviving roommates or
Everyone.
the man seen standing near a local food truck were involved in the murders. Police also addressed rumors swirling online claiming the victims were gagged and tied, saying those are not accurate, and the identity of the 911 caller has not been released. Detectives say they've received nearly 500 tips, which are being processed, investigated, and cleared. 38 people who may have information about the murders have been interviewed. The whereabouts of the killer and the knife used are still unknown. Detectives seized the contents of 3 dumpsters on King Road to look for evidence. Police have also gone to local businesses to see if anyone recently purchased a fixed-blade knife. Anyone who saw something suspicious, has video surveillance, or can provide relevant information about the murders is asked to call the Moscow Police Department.
Investigators are still trying to piece together where the 4 universities.
I mean, I'll listen. Here's a link to the Innocence Project case that I talked about and put a video about it up. You should check this out, anybody. If you haven't heard of Mark Carver, this is an article explaining how Kohberger could be innocent. Read the article. You can either read the article is in the description, or you can listen to my 45-minute read through of the article. Somebody that was convicted on touch DNA and was also exonerated. It's a really good read through. It's a really good audio version. If you want to hear me read it out loud, definitely check it out. Talk about this case because nobody's talking about it. Let's be responsible. Let's talk about these things, right? For sure. Mark Carver.
University of Idaho students went the night before they were found in their Moscow home, stabbed to death. Investigators are hoping the map released today will provide additional tips from the community.
The map details the night of Saturday, November 12th into the early hours of Sunday, November 13th. It highlights locations and approximate times when Kaylee Gonsalves and Madison Mogan were in downtown Moscow, while Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were at the Sigma Chi house. Investigators believe Madison and Kaylee were at the Corner Club on Saturday from 8 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. Sunday. Then they were at the Grub Truck on Main Street at 1:40 a.m. 5 minutes later, the map says they returned to their home on King Road. I drove that route this afternoon, starting at 4th and Main and ending at the King Road home. With some light traffic on the road, I arrived at the house in about 3 minutes.
Wow.
This suggests it's reasonable to believe Madison and Kaylee traveled by car from the food truck, but that detail has not been confirmed by police. Investigators also say Ethan and Xana were at a party at Sigma Chi from 8 to 9 p.m., then returned to the home on King Road at 1:45 a.m. The fraternity is a short 3-minute walk from the house, but still, there is a 5-hour gap on their location between the party and arriving at home. Investigators hope someone might remember being at or near the locations they've identified around the same time and potentially saw something suspicious or relevant to the investigation. Police are asking those people to call the tip line or email with that information.
This is all good information.
Detective, everything you say in the community's about, man. I don't know. It's all good, man. That's what we're about, yo. If you hang out in the show, you know what I'm saying, you'll see. Or if you go check out some old episodes, you'll see exactly. I mean, I appreciate what you're doing for the community, man, but it's all good, man. Settle down, bro.
but it brings up even more questions,
Everything's
such as
gonna be all
did
right.
investigators use the students' cell phones to identify the
Everything's gonna be
locations
all right.
and times on this map? Did Madison and Kylie walk or
Thank you.
drive or get a ride back to the home? And did Xana and Ethan spend only 1 hour
Everything's
at the
gonna
Sigma
be all
Chi
right.
fraternity? I have several calls into Idaho State Police and other local authorities working this investigation. I have not heard back, but we will continue to press for answers as this story develops. Reporting in Moscow, Amanda Rowley, Krem 2 News.
Listen, I know that there's some new people. I know that there's people that have heard about me from other fucking people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So it's all good. You know what I mean? That's why I'm saying, like, I don't hold that against anybody out there in the community that might think something differently about me, because once you come in and you hang out in the show, you know what the fuck I'm about. You know where I'm coming from. And you know I'm fucking real no matter what. And you know I'm always going to give you 150. I displayed that tonight. Even if you do me wrong, I still give you 150 no matter what. So I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for your support through the good and the bad, for real. You know, I saw a few negative things being said about you-know-who in chat, and I'm just saying, I just want to say, I don't have any, it's no hate. It's just facts. It's no hate. If I had hate, I would have responded differently than that last message that you seen me respond to the same night that all that shit went down. Everyone with good intentions is always welcome here. Period. And just like other people are saying, it's true. Us as creators, we have a responsibility, and that also goes along with how your community behaves. And if you don't want to be honest with your community, then maybe you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. Because it sucks, don't it? I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow morning. I'll be putting out a notification here soon. We'll be talking more stuff. Tomorrow night, I'll be back as well. I'm going to get off here, eat some food. I might be hanging out at the lounge in a little bit, chilling back, maybe playing something. I don't know. Maybe we can watch a show. I don't know. But check back in a little bit. I might be live. I might just get some sleep too. I've been getting a lot of stuff ready, so thank you so much. Thank you for all the new people hopping in. Thank you for checking out the show, giving it a chance. It means a lot. Thank you for becoming part of the community, the atmosphere of peace, positivity, and progress. And just know, you're always welcome. But it's about that peace, positivity, and progress, justice, and truth. Because that's why we're here. Nothing else. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I can't wait to see you. Thank you so much for being around and being a part of this community. It's that foundation built off of diamonds. Thank you. I'll see you next time.